WT slaying.
Well, family, the wait is over. The moment has arrived where truth emerges triumphant from the shadows of history. Introducing the True Jerusalem, the lost kingdoms of the Israelites, the groundbreaking work by me, Yacobe Vale, a journey into the past that reshapes the future. I cut through centuries of misconceptions with piercing clarity. This book delivers a compelling case packed with evidence that commands attention and gonna get some respect. Come with me for a second, family, and discover how these thrilling civilizations flourished, protected by towering highlands and sustained by advanced engineering. Some have asked, where is Jerusalem? Is it the land in the Middle East? I say no. It is in the highlands of Ethiopia. With hours of groundbreaking research, this book brings in a new revelation, and it will transform your understanding of African history and its connections to the ancient world. It's going to remove from your mind the conditioning by the Romans of what has really happened to our past. Come with me, family, to the Ethiopian highlands and find out why this is our land. Why things have been hidden and obfuscated for centuries. We are royalty, children of the Most High. What kind of land do you expect us to have? Dried up dirt in the Middle East, or land flowing with rivers? A land full of beautiful animals flowing with milk and honey. Don't miss out on this monumental unveiling. Grab your copy today and stand on the side of truth. Visit Amazon.com or www.tailministries.com to purchase your book and join Yacobe Vale's teachings on Tail Ministries. Family, your journey to hidden history has now begun. So family, get your copy of True Jerusalem, the Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites today. Journey into the heart of Africa, where history and legend converge to reveal the forgotten kingdoms of the Israelites and the true location of Jerusalem. Salam, my family. Salam, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. So if you haven't gotten your copy, please go over to Amazon and get your copy. For those who have gotten their copy, and if you finish reading it, if you have the time, please go over and give me a review. So far, the reviews have been very good. Everyone agrees I've made my point, right? So today is going to be a very interesting day. And I don't know how many of you all, give me a one if you have, if you saw the show I did 2 days ago, another Antichrist theory. Give me a one if you watched that video. Give me a two if you haven't. All right. So this is going to be very interesting because, you know, I told you I look at the different signs, biblical events, descriptions, what's happening in the world. I do these comparisons, and boy, I tell you. So, you know, in the Antichrist, another theory, or another Antichrist theory, I say it is possible that Trump could be the AC and Elon Musk the false prophet. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's just theory, right? I'm not saying he was. But boy, as I dig, I'm like, it ain't looking good, fam. It ain't looking good. And I'm still not saying that Trump is the AC. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying that. But oh my goodness. Wait till you see today with Elon. I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, so let's get started. Look, maybe it's just me, right? Maybe it's just me. Eat the meat, spit out the bones, right? But I'm like, we are in some mess. We are in some mess. The world has been taken over by the Satanists. The world has been taken over by the evil one. And let's just look at some of this stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, eat the meat, spit out the bones, right? All right. So I know some of you all may be familiar with this. This was Elon Musk Halloween costume a year or two ago, 2022. And obviously you see what he got here, right? Which is the Baphomet, which is the goat, which is an upside down cross, right? Which is Satanism, right? Okay, well, I mean, that's enough by itself, right? I don't even need to go any further, but boy, we're going to go further. Okay, we're going to go, we're going to go further, family, because, you know, you say, well, he just got a costume on. It's Halloween. You know, okay, maybe he's a Satanist, but does that make him the false prophet? Well, depends on your viewpoint, right? Perspective. All right. So, I mean, I'm laughing because if it wasn't so sad, it'd be terrifying, right? I mean, I don't even know how to explain this, right? The world has been taken over by the evil one. I ain't gonna lie. That's all I can say. And everything starts to make sense, right? Why oh my goodness. Anyway. Because see, here's the thing, fam. For me, I got a whole bunch of stuff in my head, right? I got biblical scriptures in my head. I got history in my head. I have what's happened over the last 100 years, the last 1,000 years. I have in my head all these pieces coming together, some of which you all won't realize because, you know, some of you all haven't been in there digging like I have, right? But all I'm saying is I think I could convict this dude in a court of law to being a false prophet, right? Just my perspective. I could be wrong. You all, okay, family, you all going to be a part of the jury, okay? All right. Say if y'all understand what I'm saying, you're gonna if you say yes, I understand, no, you don't understand. You're going to be part of the jury as I make my point. And you tell me what you think when this all is over. Okay, that's all I'm asking, because I don't have to be right. Okay, I don't have to be right. But I'm like, oh my goodness. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So let's move on. So you got the Baphomet, you got the upside down cross, right? Which is the same thing you have in the Vatican, right? They got the upside down cross. I'm like, oh my goodness, all this stuff start making sense. But let's continue.
The top 20 and even the top 100 is like totally dominated by China.
Really?
Yeah, there's like China and a little bit of Korea and Taiwan.
So are you in the top 20 in the world? Or the top 20? Wow, in Diablo.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everybody your handle? No, don't tell them. Don't tell them. It's not worth it.
Well, they actually listed me with my actual name in the list.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there's only 2 Americans in the top 20. The rest, almost everyone is from Asia. Otherwise,
We were.
All right, so he's in the top 20 of Diablo. Diablo is a video game, right? Which is about a devil or demon, right? And I've never played that. Don't want to play it. Never had no desire to play it. Now, does that convict the guy? Not at all. All I'm doing is adding to the case a little bit at a time, right? So he has the Baphomet outfit, right, which is Satanism. He has the upside down cross on it, which is Satanism, right? He has the goat head, which is Baphomet, which is Satanism. And he plays Diablo. Okay, circumstantial, but let's move on as I add to my evidence. You're the jury, family. You're the jury. You make of it what you will. All right. So let's do this. I mean, like I say, I'm just laughing because I'm shocked, right? Everything that's happening, I'm shocked. Let me say this right quick. I'll ask this question. Have you all noticed recently, like yesterday and today, they had this UFO Congress meeting again promoting the UFOs? If you've seen that or heard about it, say yes. If you haven't, say no, because there was another congressional meeting about UFOs, right? And as I mentioned in some of my old shows, what's happening, in my opinion, is the externalization of the hierarchy. And what hierarchy? It's Satanism, right? It's Luciferianism. It's the devils. It's all of this, right? It's the elite. And that's why the Christians who supporting a billionaire think a billionaire cares about them, right? And as I showed in my other video, a lot of these billionaires, they are caught up in this stuff, right? And the Christian, quote unquote Christians with a lowercase c, right? Because I mean, whatever uppercase means, but the quote unquote white Christians supporting hypothetically the Antichrist, right? And the quote unquote white Christians not only hypothetically supporting the Antichrist, they also hypothetically supporting the false prophet. Now, I'm gonna present my case. You're the jury. You determine whether or not you agree or not. But let's move on.
Warning from Tesla Motors CEO Elon Musk. It has nothing to do with cars. Instead, Musk warns about artificial intelligence, which he has called more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Musk spoke at a symposium at MIT.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon? Didn't work out.
I take it there will be no HAL 9000 going up to Mars.
HAL 9000 would be easy. It's way more complex than, it would put HAL 9000 to shame. Yeah.
All right, fam. So that's another case adding to the case against Elon and him being the false prophet, possibly being the false prophet. Now, he said that they're summoning the demon with AI. Okay, now, here's the thing. This is just me personally. I think right now, AI is in its infancy stage, right? And AI is not necessarily demonic yet, it's approaching demonic. And I think when it becomes AGI, which is general, basically universal intelligence, right, then it will probably become what we see in Revelation chapter 13, which is the image of the beast that speaks and causes many not to worship it, right, to be killed. Now, that's another case. So what do we have? We have him wearing a costume with the Baphomet, with the upside down cross, which represents the Antichrist. We have him saying that they're summoning the demon. All right. So, okay. All right. So we had that he plays Diablo, which is the video game, which is again tied to the demons, right? Okay. All right. Circumstantial evidence. But Yacoba, does that make him the false prophet? Okay. I don't know. I told you. And I don't know if his boss is the AC, but it ain't looking good. All right. So let's continue here for a little bit. All right.
Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I wish that was funny. Yeah, okay, so I want to talk to you about alignment.
I wish that was funny.
Memphis, where our new God will come from. As we see here, Elon's AI supercomputer project is in Memphis, Tennessee. And as you heard from Elon himself, how Memphis was the capital of ancient Egypt. And we can see in the Bible, Memphis is a symbol of the consequences of turning away from God, deception, and folly. Now, the Hebrew name for the ancient Egyptian city of Memphis was Noth or Moth. Not sure if I pronounced that correctly. And now the city of Memphis had several other names, including the meaning of the house of the spirit of Ptah. Now you may be asking, who is the spirit of Ptah? Well, apparently this was the ancient Egyptian god of creation, arts, crafts, and trades. He was also considered the architect of the universe. Ptah was the chief deity of Memphis. And we can see here, according to the legend, Memphis was the first capital of United Egypt. Makes me think of the Tower of Babel, where everybody was united. Oh yeah, a nice little hand sign there, Elon. So you're telling me the guy who wants to implant a chip into your brain and tie your consciousness with AI, who also says that AI is summoning a demon.
The artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon?
How our new god will come out of this artificial intelligence, which again is coming out of Memphis, which he makes a point to tie in how Memphis is originally from ancient Egypt while throwing up the hand sign. Nothing to see here, guys. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that the Tesla logo upside down looks like a witch's hat. I'm sure that's just me looking too far into it. Now, this interview that Jordan Peterson had with Elon Musk blew my mind. It confirmed everything that I was suspecting with Elon. And I plan on making more videos.
All right, so this is where our new God will come from, says Elon, which is Memphis. Now it's Memphis, Tennessee, but he says the new God is coming from Egypt. All right, so we got a costume with Baphomet with an upside down cross, which is Satanism, right? We have he plays Diablo, which is the video game, which is demons, devils, right? And we also have the fact that Elon says they're summoning the demon. All right, he's obsessed with devils, right? And so here Elon says, this is where our new God will come from. All right, so we're adding to the case. It ain't looking good, Elon, but hey, it's all circumstantial. But let's move on, family. Let's move on. Now, make sure you read the subtitles here, fam, because this is in another language.
Все, что угодно. Это как компьютерная программа. Так что я думаю, приложив не слишком сумасшедшие усилия, вы, вероятно, сможете остановить старение, обратить его вспять, если захотите. Вы можете превратить кого-то в чертову бабочку, если захотите, с помощью правильной последовательности ДНК. Илон Маск. ДНК — это носитель информации. Другими словами, это жесткий диск. Ваше тело — это ходячий жесткий диск. 1 грамма ДНК достаточно, и это научно обосновано. 1 грамма ДНК достаточно, чтобы хранить 700 терабайт данных. Я не говорю о каких-то эфемерных или мистических данных. Я говорю о реальных нулях и единицах, которые делают ваш телефон и компьютер работоспособными. Нули и единицы, биты данных. Нули и единицы могут храниться в ДНК. ДНК высокопрограммируемая, как компьютер. И мы можем программировать целый ряд сложных поведений с помощью молекул ДНК. Это жесткий диск, память в каждой клетке каждого живого организма. Это цифровой носитель информации, последовательность дискретного алфавита из 4 букв. ДНК можно рассматривать как цифровой носитель, поскольку она кодирует информацию в виде последовательности нуклеотидов. 4 буквы — это о том, что ДНК состоит из 4 типов нуклеотидов, которые обозначаются буквами А — аденин, Т — тимин, С — цитозин и Г — гуанин. Эти буквы формируют различные комбинации, которые кодируют информацию о белках и других молекулах, необходимых для функционирования организма. Если мы сможем манипулировать некоторыми частями ДНК, мы сможем вставить сообщение туда. Так вот, эти ученые, главные из которых Джордж Чорч и Крис Шири, на самом деле партнеры и ученые, открыли это и загрузили одну из своих книг, одну из своих электронных книг, на ДНК, а затем загрузили ее обратно на сервер. Они такие: «О, подождите минутку. Вы можете закодировать биты цифровой информации прямо на ДНК и загрузить их обратно». Что это значит? Мы буквально ходячие USB-накопители. Теперь вот что действительно удивительно. Они снова взяли ту же электронную книгу, загрузили ее обратно на ДНК и сказали: «Давайте посмотрим, сколько мы можем сохранить».
Okay, so the main point by me showing this video is the fact that DNA is programmable, right? And the messengers are sent through RNA. Just like with those who got the lollipop, right? They sent a message to your cells to either produce something or not produce something, turn them on, turn them off. So it sends a message, okay? And remember that the next god is coming out of Memphis or out of Egypt, right? According to Elon, which is AGI, which is the top of the line, pretty much self-aware version of artificial intelligence. All right, so AI is bits and bytes, ones and zeros. It is the electronics, right? It communicates with a server. And according to that video, it also, we can send messages to humans, right? And program human cells. Okay, so it's not good, family. I'm telling you, but let's continue. Now, this is Yuval Noah Harari. He's a ish person. He's probably one of the most wicked people on the planet. He's a scientist.
Gutenberg printed the Bible in the middle of the 15th century. The printing press printed as many copies of the Bible as Gutenberg instructed it, but it did not create a single new page. It had no ideas of its own about the Bible. Is it good? Is it bad? How to interpret this? How to interpret that? AI can create new ideas, can even write a new Bible. Throughout history, religions dreamt about having a book written by a superhuman intelligence, by a non-human entity. Every religion claims our book, all the other books of the other religions, humans wrote them. But our book, no. It came from some superhuman intelligence. In a few years, there might be religions that are actually correct. Just think about a religion whose holy book is written by an AI. That could be a reality in a few years.
Okay, so a new holy book written by a superior intelligence, artificial intelligence, right? Now, Elon Musk says that the new God is coming out of Egypt, which is coming out of Memphis, which is where his new XAI factory is, where he's going to be building the super intelligence. And the humans, the low-level cells, let's say, of this whole new system they're building, are the ones who are going to worship this new image of the beast that speaks and causes many that does not worship it to be deleted. All right, that's the scriptures. All right, so we see that messages can be sent through RNA to human cells. DNA can be programmed, right? Which means that you can communicate with artificial intelligence, your new AI God that they're creating for you, right? That if you don't worship it, it causes you to be deleted. According to Revelation chapter 13, he creates an image of the beast that causes those who do not worship the image, right? Because the image speaks, right? It has the ability to speak. It has the ability to cause people who don't worship it, because it's artificial, it's an image, right, to be killed. I'm just saying. And Elon is building XAI, and Elon says this is where the new God coming from Egypt. Okay, all right. So messages will be sent to humans through programmable DNA and mRNA. All right. A prophet, a person who speaks for God or a deity or by divine inspiration. All right, so the false prophet is a messenger. The false prophet speaks for a artificial God or a false God. Can we say a artificial prophet, a false prophet, a fake prophet, an artificial prophet, an artificial prophet that speaks for what? An artificial God. Elon is a prophet for an artificial God, lowercase g. Elon is a prophet for AI. He promotes it. He promotes what? Technology. He promotes what? Integration with AI. He promotes a message from the new God with a new religion, with a new Bible that's coming from a super intelligence, according to Harari. Yuval Noah Harari. All right, so Elon is a messenger, a prophet for this artificial intelligence, this AI God. Now, let's continue.
Company recently pushed back on claims that it violated animal welfare laws a few years ago while testing on monkeys. This year, the company plans to test on human subjects. But when it does, what would this major step mean for brain implant science?
Academics like me have conducted clinical trials in people with brain implants.
Dr. Paul Nyajukian is a professor of bioengineering and neurosurgery. He directs the brain interfacing laboratory at Stanford.
For about 20 years now. Academic research brain implants, up until this point, more or less have almost exclusively been with wires. The difference that the N1 has, that the Neuralink, it's fully implantable, it is battery powered, it is wireless. All of this is being done over Bluetooth protocol.
Let's dive into the science behind Neuralink to understand how exactly human brain chips work.
Okay, so Elon is behind Neuralink, right? Which integrates humanity with artificial intelligence or artificial network to communicate with a what? A new God coming out of Egypt, which is coming out of Memphis, which is a digital artificial being, right? And this is the messenger or the prophet promoting this idea. I didn't pull up the video, but in an older video, Elon Musk stated that in order for us to compete with AI, we will have to integrate with it. I don't know if y'all remember that. Give me a 1 if you remember that. Give me a 2 if you haven't. You can look it up when you get a chance. But Elon says the only way humanity can be saved is to basically become on par or equal with AI by interfacing with AI, right? And so this is the goal of Neuralink. This is the goal of Neuralink. And guess what? So they tell you what? That Neuralink is to help with Parkinson's, right? That's what they tell you. Neuralink is to help you with Parkinson's. Now, here's a video where Elon tells you the truth, okay? Here's a video where he tells you what the true purpose of Neuralink is.
And that this is my prediction. It'll be an age of abundance for everyone. I guess there's the dangers would be the artificial general intelligence or digital superintelligence decouples from a collective human will and goes in a direction that for some reason we don't like, whatever direction it might go. That's sort of the idea behind Neuralink is to try to more tightly couple collective human will to digital.
Okay, you see what he just said? To tightly couple collective human world, and he said will as well. He said will to digital super intelligence. That is the goal, is to connect humans, the collective humans, which means everybody, to this digital super intelligence. And I'm gonna play it one more time after this so you can hear.
Digital super intelligence. And also along the way solve a lot of brain injuries and spinal injuries.
The secondary purpose is to solve spinal injuries, right? And brain injuries. That's the secondary. The primary purpose is to connect you to the super intelligence.
And that kind of thing. So even if it doesn't succeed in the greater goal, I think it will succeed in the goal of alleviating brain and spine damage. Collective human will and superintelligence The dangers would be the artificial general intelligence or digital superintelligence decouples from a collective human will and
okay, so it decouples from a collective human will.
Goes in a direction that for some reason we don't like, of whatever direction it might go. That's what sort of the idea behind Neuralink is, to try to more tightly couple collective human will to.
You heard what he said. To tightly couple the collective human will to a digital superintelligence. Now here, they only put tightly couple collective human world to digital superintelligence. But did y'all not hear him? Yes or no? Say, to tightly couple collective human will to digital superintelligence. Did you hear that? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no. He has said to tightly couple collective human will to digital superintelligence. The purpose being, as I have told you all before, is to remove free will. And this is why no one is going to be able to be saved who gets the mark in their right hand or forehead. Why? Because free will be removed from you, and you will be under the control of this artificial God. He said it himself that Neuralink is to tightly couple collective human will to digital super intelligence. Their plan is to remove free will from mankind and to literally, like I said in my other show, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. When you truly awaken, you realize most everyone is a bot programmed to protect the matrix. This is the goal, to make everyone literally a bot. This is the goal. He said it himself. They want to make you an NPC, a non-playable character in society, in the world. They want to make you a non-playable character, an NPC. Y'all see why I'm like shocked of all of this stuff? I'm not even finished yet. This is hell on earth. All right, fam, y'all ready for some more? Of why Elon is probably the false prophet? And if Elon's the false prophet, what does that make his boss? I don't know. I'm just asking, family. Y'all the jury. You all are the jury. If Elon is the false prophet, what did that make his boss? I don't know. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying it don't look good. All right, so let's continue. Keep your ears open. This is some crazy stuff. Let's move. Now, this is Elon's former babysitter. You should go and listen to this whole story right here. Right? It's a good story of pretty much she was a little kid and her mom was part of this circle of Elon and them. And his mom looked like Cruella de Vil, right? I think her name is May. And she was a little girl and she was around what they call a hooker ball. Pretty much the hooker ball back in the 1940s. I think it was the hooker ball, something like that. You got to watch the video. And the hooker ball was pretty much a P. Diddy party. So this stuff been going on for a long, long time with P. Diddy being accused of. And it started by them folks. Oh, this stuff is crazy. But let's continue here. Listen to this, fam.
And just to be clear, when you were asked to babysit, it was because you were essentially a slave.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. And those are the words everybody else used, but not me. And so, but I want to share those words that they have.
Oh, that's very important because you were a slave to the system at this point.
Yes. So I was at my aunt's and happy to be there. again, May Musk is my hero. And I'm watching this little boy, and I'm told things like he's the chosen one, whatever that means. And so I was babysitting him, and May was going to, I think I don't know, I watched him a few different times. She didn't do like a bunch of things at once. She'd do one thing at a time. She would go take van loads of televisions to the prisons. Oh no, the battery is low. See, she would take van loads of televisions to the prisons. And I said, why is she doing that? And they said, she's creating prisoner armies, which is not something I could ever fit in a sentence in my life. And I said, why is she doing that? And they said, she's buying future chaos, creating prisoner armies. And
that seems to be playing out right now.
Right. And the lady
California.
And the lady that's telling me all this, she is the grandmother of the Santeria. And she's the mother of the prisoner armies. And so now we're what, 3-4 generations?
So fam, I just want to add, if we do get disconnected, don't forget Rumble is live streaming as well. All right. Just in case.
A few generations into those prisoners, they're having babies on the system. They're having they got the shot callers in the prison. They go out, they run the drugs. So I saw a Rogan show where he talked about the Charlie Manson CIA connection, and now I realize there's documentation. So this is panning out.
Let's go back to that time when you were babysitting him and tell me what happened there.
Okay, I got to get a battery. I was babysitting him, and May had a lot of ancient artifacts and stuff. He didn't have any normal toys, and he got into his mother's trunk. I always called it her African trunk because she told me she's from Africa, and there was these little rock statues in there, like little, action figures. And he would set him up in a certain way, like a little Stonehenge on his bed, and his room was dark. It's always dark in there. And even though his room faced the street, it was like blackout curtain on that side. So he couldn't see out, and I was the house almost across the street. And he set him up in a certain way. And when a little kid's sneaking and you still see that they're sneaking and they're trying to be sneaky and you think it's cute, you know what I mean? They're trying to hide something, but they can cookie. He's kind of being like that happy, but it was wicked. And he said, call me Moon. I said, Moon, come play with my friends. He's so excited. And I knew something weird was going on in there. And there was wind and energy. And I peeked in the door. I was scared, man. I peeked in the door and something was wrong in there. And it was like, there was something happening. I don't know the language to describe it, but
And how old would he be at this point in time?
By the record, he would be 7 or 8. But he was
7 or 8.
2-year-old, like a baby that just learned how to walk. So later I would wonder and doubt myself, is he one of his grandfather's lab experiments? Because I go, is he human? I asked my aunt. She's like, I don't know. Those Illuminati. Okay, he opened up something, a portal, a Stargate, whatever. But he was excited and he was jumping up and down. And
so he was able to open up a Stargate in his room.
Whatever you want to call it. It was a different dimension.
Yeah, a portal. Well, portal would be the actual name.
And I've been so embarrassed to say it out loud that everybody would laugh at me or lock me up. I only told my aunt.
So tell me what happened. Something's not right. Something's scary in that room. Describe what you see and what happens.
I went to the edge of the doorway and I peeked in there, and I was afraid just to peek. And there was something happening in there, like a sci-fi movie. And there was something, he set him up like a little Stonehenge on his bed. And he was tiny, like I told you, so tiny. And he was jumping up and down, and he was saying, Moon, come play with my friends. Okay, that right there says he knew exactly what he was doing. It wasn't like he accidentally opened a portal and didn't know what he had friends. So I peeked in there and I was so scared. I'm embarrassed to tell this. It's so ridiculously weird. And he was being lifted and he was starting to go. He was being lifted and he was being lifted and was being sucked in. I know this sounds ridiculous, but my aunt told me, don't let nothing happen to that effing little kid. And normally I would never let anything happen to a child that was watching. I would run between them and a pit bull. And I said, but the way she said it, I said, why? And she goes, he's going to rule the world someday. And I'm like, what? Him? What do you mean? Why? And she said, don't you know nothing? They're the Illuminati. She would always do that to me. But she'd say, don't let nothing happen to him. He's going to rule the world someday. And I was like, that kid? You know, so I grabbed his little arm and I got sucked in. I got sucked into, it's like we went up and then we went down. And it was dark in there, but it was glowing. And I can only tell you that when I remember my peripheral vision because I was afraid to look at it, because when you're a little kid and you look at the cartoons and there's a bad boogeyman in the Scooby-Doo and you see its glowing eyes, it's like, don't look at his eyes, he'll get you. And I remember that whole, oh, if you don't look at their eyes, they can't get you. And I was being sucked in and sucked down, and I had his little arm. And it was weird because there was no bottom. And there were these creatures in there. And they were giant and they were semi-shaped like humans. They were glorious. They weren't like Smeagol's or any creepy little demon dudes. They were like beautiful, ancient creatures that moved in a different time. And they were giant. And they had a different head. There was a bird head and a cat head and a jackal head. And I would compare them, because I'm not super educated, to Egyptian type of things, to the types of things May had, little artifacts of. I'm not from that region. But
this also describes angels and devils in the book of Revelation. With multiple heads, different animals pointing different ways.
The angels have many faces.
Look at the guards of the gates of the Garden of Eden, right?
Yeah.
Even alone, that's what sounds like what you're describing.
And they were beautiful, but terrifying. They weren't on my side. I'm on Team Jesus. And but I was told not to say that name over there. And
of course not, because they would flee.
My aunt told me never to say that name over there. They don't want to hear Jack Black about your Jesus. And I said, because I remember when I got saved, I wanted to go save everybody. And she's like, don't you say that name over there. She said,
okay, well, let's finish the story, and then I want to go to your conversion and how you got saved.
Okay. So we're coming down in there. One of them grabbed me by the throat. And I closed my eyes and I had him. And I was tiny, like a little rag doll compared to it. And it was holding me up like that. And I cried out. I felt like I couldn't talk. And I cried out, Jesus, save me. And it stopped and we flew back. And we flew out of there. And I still had him. Had his little arm. And we flew back and we rolled out of his room and out of the hallway and into the living room. And if you've ever fallen off a merry-go-round and you woo and you stop yourself, and I stopped and we grabbed the ground, and I was I just felt dizzy, and I looked up at him and he looked up at me, and we're on the ground we're looking at a bug, and he looked up at me and he goes, move.
So for those just coming in, this is Elon Musk's babysitter testimony. Elon Musk.
Why are you not like my friends? And I was looking at him what the hell do I say? Excuse me. I was
that's probably appropriate considering what you saw.
My friends. And I said, well, it's scary in your room, Elon. It's dark. Well, they started calling him Elon later. They switched his name. And I remember the difference. So he tried to feed me to his friends, and he knew exactly what he was doing because he called me to come play with his friends. Those things and that, and I said Revelation 10, but I think it's Revelation 9. But I think maybe he's the demon from the Apollo from Revelation 10. I think maybe he's a clone.
Is that not interesting? She says she thinks he's Apollo from the book of Revelation, which is Abaddon, which is, remember I told you how that spirit probably moves from one person to another, which is why he existed before and exists again, right? And how we have many antichrists because they're possessed by this demon. I'm just saying, I'm like, oh, well.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. But eventually things will be made clear on that.
Yes. I don't want to be a railing accusation.
There's no doubt that he has an important part to play in what is happening in history right now. I personally think he's just more on the technology side, to be honest.
Okay.
That's just my thought. I don't know. I don't know, and I want to be clear. I don't know. But
right.
I know
don't want to just make accusations either.
He's very brilliant on the technology side, and who knows? Maybe he'll be the inventor of the mark, right?
That's another thing. Can I share that? I was told about him.
Sure.
Okay, after he did that, opening the portal thing, I didn't tell what he did. And then I asked one of my the head mother of the Santeria, and I think she's the head mother of those people at our southern borders, they're calling them in. Okay, they paid for this a long time ago. But I said, is he the Antichrist? And she didn't blink. She said, no, but he will present the mark. And when you see him do that, the stage will be set.
She said that?
She said that. The stage will be set for the Antichrist to step forward. So August 28th, 2020, Elon Musk presented the Neuralink.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is the mark of the beast the image of the beast to be worshipped? Are they the same thing? And if that was true, would that make him the false prophet? And and if that was true, wouldn't that be a trick of the devil to give us a false prophet who's an atheist, rock star, supermodel, girlfriends drive sports cars and tunnels around rocket ships? Boy, that's one tricky false prophet.
There's lots of theories, and people, because of his stature in the world, people are going to be thinking a lot of different things about him. But the fact is we don't know at this point. God has not revealed anything conclusively to us.
All right, fam. So what do y'all think? I mean, so far, based upon what she said, and this particular interview was about 2 years ago, and I know she came out because I saw a video of her a long time ago, at least maybe 4 years ago, 5, where she came out earlier than the video you're seeing right now. And so the question is, what does all this mean? Now, I think a lot of this stuff would have been hard to believe, right, in the past, but now we see AI, we see artificial intelligence. We're seeing things that are, for all purposes, supernatural. You could say it's supernatural. And Elon is in the midst of it. And one of the things that she said was that Elon opened up a portal. Now, you could believe that or not, but we all know that they condition us for certain things. And one of the things they condition us for is the idea of portals, right? Now, y'all remember the TV series on Netflix called Stranger Things, right? So in Stranger Things, they had this girl and she had supernatural abilities. And they opened up a portal, and out of the portal came demons. Now, I know that is a Hollywood production, right? But that Hollywood production is used for conditioning, right? It's to pre-program us to accept what's coming. And even the Bible talks about these beings, these devils, these monsters, whatever you want to call it, are going to be released from the abyss. Y'all know that's in the Bible, right? That's in the book of Revelation. And so according to his babysitter, Elon opened up a portal. Now, does that bring anything to your mind, the idea that Elon was able to open up a portal?
Allegedly because of CERN opening up a portal. Now, the thing is, I do know that the capability that CERN has does do exactly this type of event here. But I'm going to just play this, let you guys look at this and see what you think. This was CERN being powered up and a vortex being opened as a result. I don't know how long this video would stay out there public if it really is authentic, but this is over Geneva, Switzerland. You can only imagine. You go to playing.
Seen that? You seen that come out of the clouds? Man, what was that? Hold on, Jack. I gotta rewind that.
That is wild. I'm Stephen Benin. You're watching.
All right, fam. So we have the idea that Elon was associated with portals. Now, in the past, that would have been hard for me to believe. In the past, the idea of opening up a portal would have been hard to believe, but now we see that through CERN, they are actually opening up portals, right? Now, I'm telling you, to me, all of this is wild, right? It's wild. Now, whether or not it was CGI, we don't know, right? But according to the testimony of his babysitter, Elon opened up a portal and she stepped in it. And what did she see? These beings. And remember, at one time, she wasn't a believer. She wasn't a Christian because her whole family was part of the Luciferic order. And she became a Christian later on. So I'm like I said, you eat the meat, spit out the bones. But Revelation 9, the fifth angel sounded his trumpet, and I saw a star that had fallen from the sky to the earth. The star was given the key to the shaft of the abyss. When he opened the abyss, smoke rose from it like the smoke from a gigantic furnace. The sun and sky were darkened by the smoke of the abyss, and out of the smoke locusts came down on the earth and were given power like that of scorpions of the earth. They were told not to harm the grass of the earth or any plant or tree, but only those people who did not have the seal of Yahuwah on their foreheads. They were not allowed to kill them, but only to torture them for 5 months. And the agony they suffered was like that of the sting of a scorpion when it strikes. During those days, people will seek death, but will not find it. They will long to die, but death will elude them. Now, I'm just saying, opening of the abyss, the key to the bottomless pit, abyss, where Apollo Abaddon is, right? And the angel with the key to the abyss releases Apollyon from the abyss. And you got these beings that come from the abyss, which could be a portal. Now, it says that smoke rose from it like the smoke of a gigantic furnace. Now, whether or not what they showed was CGI or not, maybe not, but I want to add something to this. So let's look at that video one more time.
Allegedly because of CERN opening up a portal. Now, the thing is, I do know that the capability that CERN has does do exactly this type of event here. But I'm going to just play this, let you guys look at this and see what you think. This was CERN being powered up and a vortex being opened as a result. I don't know how long this video would stay out there.
Now, look at this right here. I'm not saying it's legit. I really don't know, but could this not look like smoke coming from the abyss.
Republic, if it really is authentic, but this is over Geneva, Switzerland.
I'm just saying, and according to his babysitter, he was able to open up a portal where these beings were in there. I'm like, you take it for what you want. That's what they say. Now, this is his mother. So she was involved in this whole thing, and with the whole hooker ball or whatever they call it. You got to go watch the video. And to me, she looked like Cruella de Vil. And so apparently, according to the babysitter, she's part of the Illuminati. And remember, she said that she was told that he's a special kid. He's going to be a great leader one day. And he's associated with technology that literally could be associated with the mark of the beast. I'm just saying, and the image of the beast that speaks. You take it for what you want. You're the jury. I'm not. But I want you all to pay attention to this particular video here. And, you know, this isn't necessarily about Elon, but it makes sense to me, right? A lot of stuff makes sense to me. But anyway, I do a lot of research and reading. So, and I'm going to try to. All right, let's look at this video.
We have quite literally been lied to about everything. They have created this Truman Show type simulation to keep the general public distracted from the truth, distracted from the biblical events that are actually happening in our world. And one of these events is actually the war in Iraq. Everybody meet Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was an ancient Sumerian king who ruled in what we now know is modern day Iraq. And he was a 17 to 20 foot giant. He was a demigod, which means he was half human and half God. Now, if you know your Bible, and if you followed my stories before on ancient Egyptian history and how we've been lied to, you know that these giants actually existed, and they were demonic human hybrids that ruled and ravaged the earth. Now, Gilgamesh was a barbaric king. He built up and ruled over the city of Uruk, which is, again, modern day Iraq. Now, you and I were taught that this is all just mythology, just like the ancient Egyptian half animal, half human gods that we read about. But when you read the Bible, you understand that this all, in fact, actually happened. So what does he have to do with the war in Iraq? This brings us to 2003, when German archaeologist Jörg Fassbinder was digging in modern-day Iraq, and he thought he found the city of Uruk.
Gilgamesh was simply a figment of myth. That was until Jörg Fassbinder and his team of archaeologists, using modern technology to look deep into the ground, discovered an entire ancient city beneath the desert, astonishingly laid out just as the city of Uruk, over which Gilgamesh had purportedly reigned, was described in the epic. There were houses and gardens and fields alongside an incredibly sophisticated system of canals, leading archaeologists to describe the site as Venice in the desert. More importantly, on the outskirts of the ancient city was what appeared to be a burial site, which archaeologists believed to be the tomb of the ancient king.
So Jörg goes to the authorities, tells them he thinks that he found the city of Uruk and possibly the tomb of Gilgamesh, and 5 months later, we invade Iraq. Now here's where it gets crazy, because not only did we invade Iraq immediately after his findings, our military builds a base directly over the ruins. Anyway, it's not a secret that the USA established a base in the old Babylonian city, destroyed some historical artifacts, and also took with them many of the artifacts. They constructed buildings and helicopter landing pads in the ancient city. It's not a secret that they were searching for something very important.
There were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
And you know, something's wrong. It's a whole world of deceit. We're going into Iraq to get artifacts? Not to get anything but artifacts. That was the most important thing, they said.
But which artifacts?
I don't know. They just said artifacts. There were things in Iraq that were sold that we had to go get. Bush wanted those artifacts. It was very important.
Did we get them? And if so, where did they go?
We got them. They said they got everything they needed from that country.
Where is it?
I don't know. We have it.
Saddam Hussein was building a massive reconstruction of Babylon near the ancient city. Was he trying to hide something huge? Is that why the US decided to invade Iraq so fast and acquire the ancient relic? Everything in our world is biblical. Everything. All of the wars that are fought are biblical. It goes back to the Bible. It goes back to the demonic forces that are still alive today, the evidence of the demonic forces that are all around our world that they don't want you and I to know about. And if you go on the Department of State's website and type in Gilgamesh, you are actually brought to the formal request for the ancient tomb of Gilgamesh. They were requesting his body from the burial site. So when we invaded Iraq, we went in and just took it all, and we actually had to return it. There's even an email from WikiLeaks that says requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body, and the location of the buried Nephilim. Our entire world is biblical. All over our world is evidence of the Bible, evidence of the giants, evidence of the Nephilim, evidence of all these ancient civilizations that are written about in the Bible. But unfortunately, our world is controlled by Satan. Our government is ran by Satan. So what does our government do? It comes in and it covers it up.
All right. So just as we know, if you ever followed the ancient and let's say the ancient history of America, and when they found giant skeletons and things like that all throughout the world, but even in America, in the mounds and things like that, all of this ties back to the occult, the Illuminati, the secret order. And so like a lot of this technology either came directly from the fallen angels, or they found it in these burial sites like Gilgamesh's tomb. And we know this because, the whole idea of Indiana Jones, right? And Indiana Jones looking for the secrets, the ancient artifacts, right? The Ark of the Covenant and all these things. So there's this battle going on in the world between Yahuwah and Satan. Now, according to the book of Enoch and according to some other, pseudepigraph and apocrypha texts, Satan, who we call Satan, is the adversary, right? But it seems that, just my opinion, it seems that the personage, let's say, I don't want to call him a person, the personage that we refer to as Satan is really Azazel, right? That's the one who gave technology to humanity and taught them how to make war instruments and how the women to paint their eyes and their faces, according to the book of Enoch. So as it was in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. And I believe this is where we're at. It's the reintroduction of the ancient gods, but their control mechanism and influence would be through AI, through technology. Now, the thing is, we don't know even in the past if that happened before. And maybe that's why everyone was killed back then. And Elon is the messenger or the prophet of this new technology, of this new lowercase g gods and their soon return, which is why we had this UFO meeting with Congress to give some legitimacy to the idea that these beings exist and that they're coming back and they put us here on Earth. And some people are going to fall for the lie because what's being introduced is a new religion. And this new religion is humanism, but humanism tied to ancient gods, which they're going to say, probably, I'm just guessing, that they're aliens. Because why? Aliens are tied to technology. But if you think about the past and you think about our ancient cultures, you really can think of technology as magic. Because what technology does, you cannot separate from what you would think magic would do. And that's why, like in these ancient stories, you had the idea of like the golden fleece and some of these ancient artifacts that had power. Well, they were probably technological objects, right? And so the problem we have when it comes to, and once again, I'm gonna beat up on Christianity because it's a religion, is that Christianity removes the physical from the spiritual and the spiritual from the physical, and neither can exist without the other. You cannot live in this world without a spirit. And the body itself, some type of body, whatever it is, cannot function or move without the spirit, because the spirit gives life. Or can we say makes it animate or animates it? But now we got these artificial beings, these artificial creatures, these artificial technology handed down through angels, through Azazel, who, according to Enoch, taught men all of this stuff, which is who we call Satan. But Satan is the adversary, which is really inclusive of not only the fallen angels, but humanity that aligns themselves with the fallen angels as well. So think of this. This whole antagonism and hatred for us by the whole world makes sense. Because as we see in Deuteronomy 32, that Yahuwah separated the nations according to the B'nai Ha Elohim, that's the angels. But Israel, he kept for himself, his own unique possession, which is us. Which is why we're under so much drama and attacks and deletions, because we belong for the Yah. The rest of the world belongs to Satan. And they are used to attack us, which is why they hate us, because we belong to Father Yah. And so all of this stuff is coming to pass, is being revealed. Now, the problem is, and all of this is really a problem. I ain't gonna lie. All of this is a problem. This religion of AI, which is the religion of science, right? This evolutionary theory, which excludes the Most High, which is back again to science, is infiltrating the Israelite community. Not necessarily those who wake up as being Israel, but I'm talking about those who are descendants of Israelites, who are descendants of Jacob, who may not have awakened. Some who have compromised and joined the satanic order. Now, we have people like P. Diddy and some of these other people today who are in entertainment, Jay-Z and all of them. They are in cahoots with this agenda. And they're trying to formulate and reformulate our minds to reject the words of the Most High and reject the scriptures and the truth of the scriptures to accept this new reality of science, which points you to the artificial God, AI, which some kind of way they're going to use this to convince people to get this implant. I'm assuming by then it may be non-intrusive, because I mean, most people probably wouldn't want to go through some surgery. They have a chip put in their head. So maybe they're going to get it to the point where it's, it's not very invasive. I'm just guessing. But you never know, because guess what? I see a lot of people today, they're getting tattoos, they're getting objects put in their faces, they make themselves look like demons. They don't know whether he's a he or she's a she. You don't know, right? It's a new satanic order in control. And the question is, where's the so-called church? Where's the so-called church? They've been compromised. Everybody, and look, I'm not pointing the finger at you if you did, right? Because I understand you were making the right decision you thought at the time. All I'm saying is the churches did not intervene and give people an alternative to the lollipop. And so those who were predispositioned to eat a lollipop are also those, in my opinion, going to be predispositioned to take the mark of the beast. Because y'all don't listen. I'm just saying, this ministry here have warned you all way back then about it, but y'all ignored it and did what you want. Now we're going into the end of the end game. We're going into the end of the end game, and we've been infiltrated at all levels. So as I mentioned, we have entertainers and stuff that are in Luciferianism. We have entertainers that are in Luciferianism. Now, y'all remember Sammy Davis Jr., right? Give me a 1 if you remember Sammy Davis. Give me a 2 if you don't, because I'm sure everyone who's probably older than 30 probably remembers Sammy Davis, but all of the younger kids may not have heard of him before. So Sammy Davis Jr. was a black entertainer. He was part of the Rat Pack. He was like the only black guy who was associated with these white famous people in Hollywood. But Sammy Davis admitted he was a Luciferian. He was a Satanist. This was a black guy. This is an Israelite. He was a Satanist. Eddie Murphy admitted that Sammy Davis Jr. told him that he was a Satanist. Sammy Davis Jr. said that Satan was as powerful as God. That's what he said. What a deception. How do you get to the point where you believe that Satan is as powerful as God? That don't even make sense. By definition, God is more powerful than Satan. I'm just saying. We're dealing with people who look like us, who have compromised and sold their souls for filthy lucre. They sold their souls for paper dollars. Now, all of these people that we see now being exposed, and it's not just Diddy, it's a whole bunch of entertainers. I forgot the name of the little girl who came out talking about how she was part of the SA circle and she was a party favor on the desk. Now, there's videos out there where you see a Diddy party and they got people laying on there and they're eating off of these people. So she was literally a party favor. It is awful. So we have a new religion being formed. Now, here's the slickness of the new religion. The slickness, and I don't even know if that's a legitimate word, but I'm going to use it. The slickness of Satan is that he has Israelites promoting this new gospel. He has Israelites promoting the idea of UFOs. He has Israelites promoting the idea that we're going to transcend. Just as we have this new evangelism team called Hollywood. If you notice, we are the targets of the ABCDEFGs. We are the targets of everything that's anti-Yahuwah. Now, why are we the targets? Because we are Yah's people. This thing is very dangerous. And I'm going to share one of the dangers because they put a black face on it to draw us into their religion. Now, this right here, this is Steve Harvey's daughter.
Most people have been following Satan this entire time while they thought they have been following Jesus.
Facts. My personal opinion is that the Bible is orchestrated and remixed in a way by this entity in order to lead human beings to their own demise, and that human beings themselves have been following and worshiping Satan this whole time. I began to do this whole report is how many people were really being killed by God and versus how many people were being killed by Satan. Approximately 3 million people were killed by God in the Bible, and Satan didn't kill anybody.
Oof.
And I was going, I just can't believe that this book is 100% about the creator of the universe. I believe that there's a God, but I also believe that the entity being written about in some of these texts is written by men and remixed by men. What is God? God is a frequency.
Yeah.
And it's our job to tune in. We've attributed God to a giant white
Sky
man.
Daddy.
Sky Daddy with the white robe, the big beard, and the magic wand to
Yeah.
grant all of our wishes. And we want to turn God into a slave versus being in the same frequency with that energy and understanding that that energy that exists throughout the entire known universe is also inside of every atom in your body. If you're going to rely on this one book for your eternity, we got a problem here. And you spend your life defending a false identity. Most people have no clue who they are.
Okay, dive into it, Billy. How can people uncover themselves?
The first step is...
All right, so these are the new evangelists for a new religion. If you notice what, and this is Billy Carson, what Billy is saying is that there's this God is Satan. That's what he's saying. And he's saying it is Satan because God killed a lot of people in the Old Testament. That it is not the God of the Bible because he didn't kill a whole bunch of people and he made people slaves and blah, 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 blah. Now, this is the problem when you don't study the word for yourself, right? He studies things from an esoteric viewpoint. So he don't know Yahuwah. So he says that men manipulated the Bible. Now, we can see that there were some issues with the translations and transliterations. We can see there were some issues with replacing Passover with Easter. We can see there were some issues with how they translated certain words, right? Such as the church. There's issues there, but the message is the same. The message is consistent from Genesis to Revelation. The message is consistent in the Apocryphas. There may be one issue, in one chapter, but the rest is consistent. So the story, as we see in Genesis to Revelation, the stories as we see in some of the apocryphal texts in the pseudepigrapha, is that God is at war with the nations, and God is at war, who they call God, who we say Yahuwah, is at war with the nations because of what they did to his people. Now, the fallen angels are the ones who are in control of this system. Now, the whole thing is they look at certain things and you can tell he mentioned frequencies. He mentioned God is a frequency and that this frequency is in every cell. All right. Basically, what he's telling you is that you are God. That's what he's telling you, right? He's telling you God exists. He's telling you that these frequencies exist. And these frequencies are in every cell. Therefore, you are God, which is the conclusion that he's making. Now, if you add in frequencies, you're adding in the idea of science, which ties you into the new religion of science, right? And the gullible is going to follow them. Why is the gullible going to follow them? Because they don't know Yahuwah. How do you know the creator of the universe? You cannot know the creator of the universe unless Yahuwah himself, God, comes down and reveals himself to you. You can't know him because he's outside of the world. So Yahuwah came down in human flesh, the word of God, to give you a message from the king, from the creator himself, and to die for your sins, which is his son Yeshua, which is Yah saves. He came to give you the message from on high because you would never know who he is unless he did that. The Most High had his holy prophets to contrast between the false prophet like Elon. The Most High had his holy prophets to tell you what says Yah. Now, the problem that these people have, like Billy Carson, is that they don't look at the message first. They don't read the letter first. to see what Yahuwah says. So one of his big issues is that Yahuwah killed a bunch of people. Like that's a big thing. Because if he understood the scriptures, he would understand that Yahuwah, who they call God, is judge, jury, and executioner. Come on now. If you read the Bible, you would understand that Yahuwah, who you call God, is judge, jury, and executioner. Don't get it twisted. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. That's in the law. The Most High will abide by his word. So if the nations are sinning, if the nations are doing evil, if they're committing atrocities, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. So don't be surprised that a lot of them nations got taken out. Not only that, a lot of those nations were trying to delete his people, which is why his people had to fight them. Yahuwah was with them. This is a battle of Yahuwah and his one nation against the Satans. I'm going to say plural because there's multiple enemies. The Satans against one nation who's Yahuwah's people. So there's this battle that's been going on since the creation between Yahuwah and Satan. Satan was given authority over the earth after man fall. And guess what else? So after mankind fell, Satan got authority to rule over the earth. After Israel fell, salvation went to the to the Gentiles from the Jews. So there's a restoration being implemented. Yeshua came, he died for our sins, he rose from the dead, be the first among those who are going to rise from the dead, who are the sons of God, who are going to be part of Father Yah's family, where the rest of the world is under Satan, and most of the world is not going to make it. Most of the world is going to be deleted. Because they don't understand the word. Shall the thing formed say to the one who formed it, what dost thou? What are you doing? This is what they're doing. So the Most High, because he loves us and because he loves mankind, but he loves us first, we're the first, but he loves mankind. He sent his son to die for us that those who believe in him will have eternal life. He extended his grace. But understand, the king don't have to extend grace. He don't have to do that. He don't have to extend mercy. He don't have to do that. But he wanted to because he loved mankind and he definitely loved his people, and he said he's going to redeem and restore his people. So you have this history that's happening and it's being revealed through the findings of Gilgamesh and the artifacts, which is ancient technology, and the fallen angels are being disclosed as UFOs. And what we have is the externalization of the hierarchy, which is the fallen angels and Satan. The implementation of this AI technology, which is the artificial God that's going to control mankind and remove free will so you won't be saved, whoever decides. Now, you're going to be able to make the decision. You're going to be able to decide whether or not you're going to take the lollipop or not. You're going to be able to decide whether or not you can take Elon's little neuron chip link. And they're going to make it sound good. You could be a superhero. You can be like Superman. You can have all this information in your brain. You can live forever. You won't die through technology. But in that day, men shall seek death, but death shall flee from them. See, this is the lie. People are going to attach to it. And they're going to be consumed by evil, and they're going to be consumed by torments. They're going to be consumed by too much information in their head from the network. They will not have any peace. They're going to be tormented. They're going to try to delete themselves, but they're not going to be able to die because they took whatever the world gave them because they thought they could live forever and they thought they could be a superhero. So Billy Carson is the evangelist to the black community. Billy Carson was born September 4, 1971 in Queens, New York. He now resides in Monroeville, Alabama with his wife, Evelyn. She's not even a Negro. Billy is a versatile individual with a wide range of talents. He's involved in acting. He's an actor. That's what he's been hired to do. Music production, writing books, and managing his own company. Forbidden knowledge. Forbidden knowledge. What does that remind you of? The knowledge of the tree of good and evil. Everyone's taking a bite except the Israelites, at least the redeemed remnant. This company delved into captivating subjects related to space and ancient history. Billy started working as a paperboy in Miami at a young age to support his family. Over the years, he's gained recognition for his books such as Woke Doesn't Mean Broke and a compendium of the Emerald Tablets. That's the tablets of thought, or thought, however you want to pronounce that. Additionally, he devotes his time to studying and teaching about ancient civilizations and space. Even at 53 years old, Billy continues to expand his knowledge and share it with others, earning him respect with multiple fields. So he's part of this movement, this awakening, this technology transfer, this externalization of the hierarchy, the knowledge of tree of good and evil. He's part of that. And the gullible is being led astray because they're like, ooh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, why would a good God allow people to be murdered? Why would a good God allow people to go into captivity? Why would it? Go read his book and find out why. It's called the Bible. It's called the Torah. It is his laws. There's consequences for sin. And there's consequences for touching his people. Touch not my anointed and what? Do my prophets no harm. Those who love Israel are going to be blessed. Those who bless Israel are going to be blessed. Those who curse Israel are going to be cursed. A lot of nations were cursed. So now we have the externalization of the hierarchy, and not only is the technology coming out, but the ancient past is being revealed and is being repurposed and redefined. The Gilgamesh artifacts and archaeology is being discovered. And its connection to the gods of old, lowercase g. This is why they didn't turn up the heat on the Israelites, because our awakening has occurred. And our awakening is a sign of their destruction. So therefore, they are pushing their doctrine of science and their doctrine of mysteries. Let's listen a little bit more of this.
Welcome to Vaught and Powers Talks, where we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential change makers. I'm your host, Brandy Harvey. But before I introduce my guest for today, I need you to go ahead and do me a favor. I need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss your daily dose of inspiration and motivation. Now, I don't never give a little preface to these interviews, but I feel like this one might buckle your seat belts for this one. This is going to take y'all into a whole other dimension today. Billy Carson is the founder and CEO of Forbidden Knowledge Incorporated, the 4-time best-selling author of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, Woke Doesn't Mean Broke, the Epic of Humanity and Fractal Holographic Universe. Mr. Carson is also the founder and CEO of Forbidden Knowledge TV, a conscious streaming TV network, the host of the Forbidden Knowledge podcast, and the co-host of Biohack Your Best Life podcast. Among his most notable achievements, Billy is the CEO of First Class Space Agency based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Recently, Mr. Carson earned the Certificate of Science with an emphasis on neuroscience at MIT and has a certificate in ancient civilization from Harvard University. He is also a
Is it not interesting that he's connected to neuroscience like Elon? I'm just saying, all of these people working together, he's another evangelist for the new gods, the lowercase g, or gods of old, however you want to look at it.
Writer and contributor for Entrepreneur Magazine, and the winner of the 2022 Stellar Citizens Award. Billy Carson believes you are more powerful than you even know, and they fear the day you discover it. Vault Empowers Talks welcome husband, father, researcher, thought leader, and global teacher, Billy Carson, to the show.
Wow, thank you for that amazing introduction.
I am like so excited to have this conversation with you. I think you are one of those people that gets us all to think deeper, to dive deeper, to go deeper into things that we probably never even thought we were going to tackle.
Yeah, well, that's the ultimate goal, is to, I think, question everything, not in a way where you're challenging just to be a rebel, but to actually really question things and force yourself to look for the answers to those questions. And as I began to do that, I wanted other people to do it. I didn't want to be the only one that I felt like was gaining a certain level of knowledge, because if I hoard the knowledge and I'm the only one with it, what good does that do the world?
Yeah.
Knowledge is not power, but the application of knowledge is power. And I want people to get knowledge and apply it in their lives.
I love when you say the application of knowledge is power, because this has been a real journey for you. 1977, you're 7 years old, and you have your first encounter with extraterrestrial life.
Yeah, it was weird. I was just out in the backyard. As you know, back then, no 4 channels on TV, and the 4th channel, you had to really tune it in. You might not even pick it up that day.
And kids actually played outside. You said something that's like, that's like a long gone thing.
Listen, no video games, no cable TV.
Yeah.
Play outside. And I'm looking up in the sky and watching airplanes go over, because they amaze me that an airplane can travel fast. You know it's traveling fast, but when you look up at the sky, it's moving slow. And as this airplane is going over, I'm watching how long it takes to clear the horizon, and I'm back in my backyard doing flips and all kind of stuff, playing in dirt. And one time I look up and I see this object that clears the horizon in seconds, not minutes, and it just blew me away. And I went, wow, what was that?
All right, so Billy promoting the alien gospel. He's another person that had an encounter with UFOs, right? So once again, it's the same message told it in a different way to seduce the gullible. And the Most High says he would send a strong delusion that, if it were possible, shall deceive even the very elect. This is part of the deception.
And then it came back, and then it stopped, but this time much lower. And then it just hovered silently, glowing orb, a little bit longer, elongated than an egg, but not as long as a cigar, kind of in the middle, glowing metal-ish type. And it just went, and it was gone the way that it came in, opposite direction. And I was blown away. I ran in the house. I said, Mom, you won't believe what I just saw. I described everything to her. And that's when she said, she just stayed calm. Sit down, son, let me tell you something. There's been more advanced beings on this planet. She didn't say aliens, she said advanced beings on this planet in the ancient past. And everything that's been done has already been done. There's nothing new under the sun, which is from Ecclesiastes in the Bible. And she told me that there were ancient airports and these beings used to live on top of mountains. She said, you need to go to Machu Picchu, which I made one of my life's goals. And when I finally got there, I understood. And that's why I dedicated my first book to my mom.
Yeah.
So the question is he lying? Is Billy Carson telling a lie? No, he's not. It's true. There were ancient beings here. They were called Nephilim. They were the fallen angels. They had children who in the ancient past they called the gods, lowercase g, like Hercules. And they had all of this technology in ancient past. This is all true. But it's the same time frame as the time of Noah. The culture and civilization during the time of Noah that was high-tech civilization run by the gods, lowercase g, the fallen angels. Because remember, they rule over the rest of humanity. And the Most High had to destroy them. They're preparing you for the visitation of these beings. They're preparing you for this new religion through technology, evolutionary thoughts. They're preparing you to reject the God of the Bible, who is supernatural, who is above everything, to go to frequencies. And when you move to frequencies, you're moving to a science. You're moving to magic. You're being consumed by deception. And some of you are going to say, well, Yacoba, how do you know that the Bible is true? You know how I know the Bible is true? Because I read it. You know how I know the Bible is true? Because of the prophecies. You know how I know the Bible is true? Because them Deuteronomy 28 curses is perfect in our lives. Come on now, family. Tell me if I'm lying. All you Israelites out there, is Deuteronomy 28 not match the Israelites, the Negroes, the slaves, descendants of slaves from the continent of Africa? Yes or no? Deuteronomy fits us to a T. The fact that we will be chased by our enemies around the world. The Inquisition. The prophecies validate the scriptures. Yeshua says, I tell you this before it happens, so when it happens, when it comes to pass, you might believe. But so many people don't want to listen. Why? Because y'all compare us to the Christians. But the Christians did the best with what they had, because we all grew up in the church. We all grew up in religion. And we didn't wake up till the Most High says, in the land of your captivity, you shall remember yourselves. That's another prophecy fulfilled. You know what else is being fulfilled right now? The mark of the beast, the Antichrist, the false prophet. Shall we go on and on to the break of dawn?
Yeah.
And so, but that was in the 70s, and she had this knowledge already.
That is the thing that fascinated me the most, because, you know, oftentimes we, you know, think of black mamas, you know, who are definitely Christian, evangelicals, you know, who are like, that's not, no. That's not of us, you know, all the things. But your mom was so open, and she had, you know, such a receptive, you know, life to say, let me tell you about this.
Yeah. And her knowledge was just based on her own research.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of influence about aliens and UFOs in the 1970s. She clearly had some experience, had learned some things on her own, and done some of her own research and come to her own conclusions. But that pretty
So his mom did some research and came to her own conclusion. In other words, I'm going to paraphrase. His mom was in the occult, and she researched the occult. She researched the secret knowledge, and she found out that some of that stuff worked. Well, we know that. We can read the scriptures and see that stuff work. And the Most High said, don't mess with that. Don't get in that divination stuff. Don't be seeking the dead. Why seek the living among the dead?
pretty much opened me up to be a person that was open. I had already come to some conclusions just in doing, and my father would make me do book reports on the biblical text, on the Bible.
Yeah.
On book reports on the Quran, book reports on the encyclopedias. And so I already began to see different things that contradicted each other within a lot of information. So my mind was already kind of forming a lot of questions. But when she told that to me, it really then truly opened me up to explore and not be afraid to ask questions and seek answers.
Yeah, because by 12 or 13, you were now questioning the contradiction of the Bible.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of contradictory information because you hear that God is good all the time.
And all the time.
And as he was then, he is now.
Yeah.
But then I'm going, I just did a book report in the book of Deuteronomy. It wasn't that good because...
I want you to go here, Billy, because I love this conversation that you have about the book of Deuteronomy.
A lot of people were, being sent across different parts of the world, in my opinion, the world, but in the biblical text, let's say regions, to go and destroy other people. In the book of Deuteronomy, God himself orders people to go out to other locations, to other towns and cities, and it could be for any reason. One reason was because one person there spoke ill against me. One person. So God tells his team of warriors to go out, kill the women, kill the children, burn down the city and bring the spoils of war back to me. And I'm going, wait a minute. Why does God need spoils of war?
Yeah.
Why must women and children die? And it even says that if you find any virgins among them, you can keep them as your wives. Now we have, we have abduction, we have false imprisonment.
All right. So why did God tell them to keep the spoils of war? Why did God say you could take the women? Well, those were spoils of war. But understand this. Why did God tell them to go delete the children and the men and the women? Why did Yahuwah say these things? Well, if you look at the scriptures, it's because God, Yahuwah, was at war with the nations. Why? Because the nations belong to the Satans. So therefore, God's people was at war with the Satans. So when God's people went to war with the Satan's people, they get the benefits from that war. Now understand this, that God, who we call Yahuwah, he judges nations through his own people. You can see that. Go read the scriptures. Even in the end, the Bible said that his people are going to judge these nations again with our own hands. Go watch my teachings on that. God does what he wants. And he judges nations the way he wants. It don't always have to be an earthquake. It don't always have to be a volcano coming down. But God takes care of his people as well. He said, you're going to tread upon these nations. You're going to tread on their heads. They're going to bow at your feet. This is a real world situation where God and his people are fighting against the nations. This is why they hate black folks. This is why we hate it everywhere we go, because we the chosen. We are at war with the nations. We didn't know that because we were slaves. We were blind. We were dead, half asleep. But Billy don't read the Bible, because Billy knows Christianity. One of the things that the Most High loves to do is judge evil. Why does he judge evil? Because if evil is allowed to grow, it's going to consume and destroy everything and everyone, and there will be nobody left who's righteous. There would be nothing good. He would have to destroy the whole planet and start all over again. But Israel's being used as a testimony, and now we woke and we telling the world, hey, we here, we back. We as people, and we know it, and they know it. And that's why all hell broke loose after 2019, just like we told you it would.
And I'm going, this don't sound like a great entity or a great being. And so as I read more into it, I see other areas in the biblical text where, man, this sounds like a great entity or a great being, someone that you definitely would want to be a part of or be a part of you. But then in other areas, there was like a lot of murder, killing, and torture. And so I began to do this whole report is how many people were really being killed by God and versus how many people were being killed by Satan. And as I got through my entire report, my complete research, which took about 3 years, I discovered that approximately 3 million people were killed by God in the Bible, and Satan didn't kill anybody.
Ooh. All right, let's stop right there for a second. What is Billy Carson promoting now with this idea and this statement, this conclusion that he's reached? That Satan's the good guy and God's the bad guy. Right? Come on now. Billy is promoting that Satan is the good guy and that God is the bad guy. Because Satan didn't kill anybody, but God did. Do you not know that the God of the Bible says he's going to cast people into hell and they're going to burn forever and ever, forever, ever, forever, ever? But you got a problem with the God of the Bible saying that go kill them people and destroy those nations because they're wicked? The soul that sinneth, it shall die. This is the law. Before the implementation of grace and mercy through Christ, there was no wiggle room, bruh. Before Christ came, it was the letter of the law. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. God is not a man that he shall lie, the son of man that he shall repent. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. Them nations were sinners. They worshiped idols. They worshiped devils. They sacrificed their children to demons. And God said, kill them. But y'all got a problem with that.
And I was going, I just can't believe that this book is 100% about the creator of the universe. I believe that there's a God. Let me preface this. I believe that there's a God, and I believe that God exists. I think that the quantum physics proves that we're living in a creation and that we're all imbued with divine energy and frequency, which I believe can be used for good or can be used for bad. But I also
goodness and frequency. We're now going to the spiritual and the physical. Now we're going into science again. Now we're going into the fact that these frequencies into your cells, and we're going into the idea that science is your God and that you're part of the scientific process, and therefore you are a God, and that Satan is the good God because Satan brought you knowledge. That's what he's saying. He's a devil. Steve Harvey's daughter is the devil. Most of these entertainers, black, white, they devils. We see it. Ex Diddy. Ex Sammy Davis Jr.
I believe that the entity being written about in some of these texts is written by men and orchestrated by men and remixed by men in order for men to implement and put their boot on the necks of others for various different reasons, whatever their agenda is. If you're a creator that's creating universes and creating life and has all this omnipotence and omniscience, why in the world would you say, you know, let me fly back to this little planet, this blue dot in the suburbs of the Milky Way and imbue these people to go torture and murder and kill women and children real quick before I get back to creating some stuff?
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up.
But yet, he ignored the fact that some of these ancient civilizations had Nephilim in it. Israel had to fight and destroy the Nephilim, who were the descendants of the fallen angels and humans. They were evil hybrids who needed to be deleted because they were consuming, because they were giants, all of the food, all of the resources, and tormenting mankind and forcing mankind to sacrifice and offer up their children to Molech. Come on now. Let's get the whole truth out there, Billy. Don't you make my Elohim look like he bad. No, he's the Almighty. It's dangerous to fall into the hands of an angry Elohim, my brother. And you leading many people to hell. And guess what? I'm seeing a lot of people on their way to hell. I'm seeing a lot of people being deceived. A lot of people biting in on this lie. Oh, God, the bad guy. Satan, the good guy. That's what he's saying. He's the devil. I don't care if he look like us. I don't care if he an Israelite. He a devil. She a devil too.
So what it tells me is that a lot of the text in the Bible is manufactured by human beings.
Well, I mean, let's talk about King James.
Yeah.
King James. King James. Let's talk about it.
King James' #1 best-selling book is his book on sorcery and witchcraft.
I know.
Okay, so that's what he really was known for. A lot of people don't know that that's his best-selling book, not the Bible. Yeah. King James also was
false equivocation. So King James had a book about magic. He also had the Bible translated. The false equivocation is that because King James was the evil son of a, that everything else in the Bible is bad because King James was the evil son of a. You know what I'm saying? It's a false equivocation. I give you a little truth mixed with lies. That's what the devil does.
It's a pedophile.
A pedophile.
Right? So he's a pedophile. So you're talking about a man that has no real morals, that is into dark energy and dark magic. And then, of course, he's now
So King James was a pedophile, so says he. Just like the Catholic Church, who worship Baal, who worship the fish god. Just like the Catholic Church that has an upside down cross like Elon Musk. False equivocation, my brother.
opportunity to profit from putting this book together. And this book is heavily curated by the Council of Nicaea in King James.
Constantine.
Yes, Constantine, under the Pope's order, to create this, this book, which they call the Canonized Bible, which people have the illusion that it was written in real time. In other words, somebody's following around. Hey, Jesus, say that one more again because I just didn't get that last sentence you said. Hey, Moses, can you repeat what God said to you on top of Sinai? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The Bible was written long after these people were dead and gone.
Anybody with any concept of logic, any common sense knows that somebody later on compiled the scriptures and put them together. It wasn't like Moses was sitting there with his typewriter writing the whole thing at the same time and writing the laws and all this stuff. Come on now. Let's stop the foolishness. That's just what some people believe in or taught in Christianity. Just because he's pointing out some of the issues with Christian doctrine and interpretation does not negate the scriptures.
Okay. And again, when it gets down to being a prophet, I can predict that I'm going to pick up this glass of water and then I can pick it up. Prophecy fulfilled. You see, so when things happen after the time, after the event has already happened, when you write down things after the event has already happened, you can create all kinds of prophecies in there.
I mean, I love this, you know.
But most of the prophecies were written thousands of years ago and they coming to pass today. Come on now. But the gullible is going to eat it up. The gullible going to eat it up. They're going to eat it up and they're going to be deceived. Not too many people making it out this deception. I ain't going to lie. I'm telling you, there's something wrong today. There's a spirit of evil and deception in this world like I ain't never seen.
In your book, you say that the most important lesson, frequency and vibration, have a direct effect on our reality and can even alter current and future events.
That's right. Absolutely. So we're talking about the fact that what is God? God is a frequency.
Yeah.
And it's our job to tune in.
It's our job to tune in.
God is a frequency and it's our job to tune in. Let's tie it back to science again. Let's tie it back to frequencies and physics. Let's tie it back to we can become gods because since God is part of the natural process, since God is a frequency, we can tap into the frequency and we can become gods, which is the lie from the garden. And here we go again, promoted by Billy Carson and Steve Harvey's daughter. I'm surprised. Why? Because Steve Harvey was at the Diddy parties too. You got to tell Diddy no.
I love when you say that. I love that in your book.
Yeah.
God is a frequency. It's our job to tune in.
We've misconstrued what God really is. We've attributed God to a giant white
Sky
man
Daddy.
With, the Sky Daddy.
Sky Daddy.
The Sky Daddy with the white robe, the big beard, and the magic wand to grant all of our wishes. And we want to turn God.
Did she mean a zaddy? I think she must have meant a zaddy, right?
God into a slave. Every time something goes wrong, please God. And we're ordering God and we're ordering Jesus to take care and fix these issues and problems nonstop. And we're trying to enslave what our idea or concept is of God or Jesus versus being in the same frequency with that energy and understanding that that energy that exists throughout the entire known universe is also inside of every atom in your body.
What in the heck that even mean? That sounds like stupid stuff to me. What does that even mean? Oh, you got to be in tune with that frequency. Make sure you got them dials on 33 megahertz. Really? I mean, look, the whole thing is this. This whole thing This whole thing is being set up. This is the new way of evangelism. Just as they made us the face of alphabets, they're making us the face of this new religious movement. Why? Because there ain't no movement taking off without us. Y'all know that. We the promoters of any kind of trend. So they got to pay people like Billy Carson and people like Steve Harvey's daughter, that's what I'm going to call her, to promote this new religion.
Yeah.
And to know how to walk in that power and command and wield that energy into your life. Instead of hoping, begging, and wishing, to begin to understand you can command your realities. You have a certain level of control, not the massive level where you can create a planet, but because we're a fractal of the God whole, we have a certain amount of power imbued in us. And the proof of that is all around us because we're living.
All right. So y'all hearing that, right? Did I not say that's what he was telling you? That we are gods? That's what he's telling you. God knows the day that you eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall be like him, right? That's what he's saying. Once you get into the frequency, you tap into the knowledge, you're going to become gods, knowing good and evil, tied into the same old lie from the garden. It has to stop. It has to stop. And how gullible can people be?
In a world.
Oh, and let's not mention that a lot of this knowledge came from Africa. A lot of this ancient knowledge come from Egypt. A lot of this ancient knowledge come from black folks. But guess what? Black folks went into captivity. That knowledge ain't help them then, did it? Black folks went into slavery. That knowledge ain't help them then, did it? That's because we stepped away from the Most High, from our covenant with him. That's why we went into slavery. How does he answer that? Billy, my boy, Billy Carson, answer this question for me, Billy. How come Negroes went into captivity? Did they not have the frequency? Were they not tapped in, Brother Billy? No, they went into captivity because they turned away from their Elohim. That's why.
That has been manifested and created by humans.
Yeah.
The microphone is created by humans. The clothes I'm wearing created by humans. The camera's created by human beings. All from conscious thought manifested into solid reality, into the third dimension. So we ourselves are co-creators in this reality, and we take it for granted.
There you go. We are gods because we got knowledge, because we ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Come on now. Same old foolishness. Because you can create a camera, you tapped into the frequencies, you tapped into the God knowledge, which is why they want to connect you to AI and connect you to the network. So we all can talk in our heads and take all of the little pieces of the God particle and unite it and make a new AI God where humans transcend into godhood. I ain't gonna even listen to no more. I'm like, how easy it is to see the lie. It's so easy to see the lie. I just don't understand how people fall for it. But let's end it with this video, fam. This is pretty long. I could go on and on, be honest with you, but let's end it with this. All right, let's do this. Here we go.
I got to meet people like Sammy Davis and that kind of shit, you know. They were still around.
What was he like?
Just like you would expect him to be.
Cool. He's a hep cat, right?
Just like he is all the time. You know what I realized about Sammy? That was coke. The whole thing with the mouth like this.
It was?
Think about it. That whole era is cocaine.
I don't know anything about drugs.
Sammy is like this with that cocaine mouth, man, and the way he would laugh and hug and all that. He was totally coked up. That was off cocaine, man. That was a cocaine thing. Sammy told me he worshiped the devil. We were in Dan Tana's on that restaurant with all the pictures of it. Sammy was like, you know, Satan is as powerful as God. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He says, why do you think there's so much anger in the world and killing and murder? And Satan, and he saw my reaction to it, and he kind of lightened up on it, buddy. And he was like, in downtown, it was dark, and it's the candles on the table, and Sammy's face over the candle. You know, Satan is as powerful as God.
Jerry Seinfeld is the devil. Jerry Seinfeld is the devil.
Shebang bang man. That's all I gotta say. Hollywood full of devils. Y'all better stop following these entertainers. You better stop following these artists. You better leave the hip hop artists alone. You better leave the Hollywood actors alone. Most of them, if not all of them, are devils. Even the ones who say they're Christians, most of them are devils. Because you could be a Christian and do what thou wilt. Brother Eric want me to put the link out there. Y'all want me to put the link out there, family? Yes or no? I mean, I've been on here pretty long. I'll give y'all 30 minutes. I ain't gonna put the link out there. Y'all don't come on here. Last time y'all left a brother hanging. All right, family. Y'all say yes. All right. I'm gonna put the link out there. I was gonna shut it down, but I'm gonna put the link out there. I'm not gonna pin it. I'm not gonna pin it. So get it while it's there. Shebang bang man. All right, let's see what the family got to say about all this. It should be interesting. Shebang bang man. That's Tommy Davis. Shebang bang man. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I mean, uh-oh. Sister Chantel, haven't been on in a while. That's my little sister right there, Sister Chantel. Hey, Sister Chantel. Shebang bang.
Shebang bang. Shalom to everyone. Oh my gosh. Listen, you said something that just, I was like, put the link out, put the link out, put the link out. Thank you, Eric. You said, what did you say? What did you say? Oh, about the Neuralink. Oh my gosh. Look, I said on Karis's show, I don't know if anybody remembers, I was talking about this whole, and I think I left you a message. You know how I am with them long messages. I left you a message talking about, it was about how they want to bring us all together. And it's like, in order for, because like Satan is not omnipresent, he's not the Most High, and in order for him to be the Most High, he needs his eyes and ears everywhere. It's kind of like, it's the same kind of the same kind of thing we see with the Borg. He needs to have eyes here, eyes there, and it's like humanity is nothing but one big neural network for him to tap into, while he destroys the the essence of the Most High that is in each and every person. I just found that really interesting. I couldn't believe that's what you said. And that's what, when I was listening to the Neuralink, and I picked up when you said, was it neuroscience with Billy Carson? I was like, Elon Musk. And then you said it, I was like, yes. And the funny thing is, I had my cousin was constantly going to me, oh yeah, what do you think about Billy Carson? I think he's a prophet. I'm like, bruh, can you please pick up the Bible and just read it? It's like Israelites just be looking to just bounce on anything. They don't want to read the scriptures, but they'll happily read and listen to some next Egypt that just prop up from nowhere. I don't understand.
Well, it makes sense too. It makes sense why they're bringing in Druidism in the Israelite community and Mormonism, right? It's the same thing. We're being infiltrated. But go ahead.
No, there's so much I want to say, but you ain't got time, and I'll probably leave you an hour message or something. I don't know. But
just don't write a book.
No. That will be, if I write a book, it will probably be longer than the Bible. It would be the never-ending story. But yeah.
That's a good one.
Thank you. Thank you for yeah, because I'll try. Thank you for letting me on. And yeah, and I have used the term frequency. I just want to put out there, but I haven't used it in the sense of this, that, and the other. I use it in the sense of in order for us, we as his people, we're on his frequency. We can only hear him. Like it's kind of weird. Like the way I see it is that we because of who we are, it's almost like he has a voice that creates. And it's only when you're listening, when you are actually tapped in, and you're only tapped into that when you have the ability, when you want to actually hear it. It's not a matter of, oh, I got to tune into this and I got this, that, and the other. It's just literally, are you searching for the truth? Are you looking for the truth? And in order to have that truth, because everything is kind of frequency, but not in the sense in how they are using it, but it's just that everything exists as it is. And in order for us to understand or to hear the Most High, we have to be in tune with the Most High. And the only way you can be in tune with the Most High is literally by living, by hearing him, by reading his scriptures, by knowing who he is. You can't be doing what you're doing, listening to whoever. Like if I'm listening to Billy Carson, there's no way I can listen to you and understand what you're saying. What you're saying is what the Most High is saying. I can't understand you because I'm not on the same wavelength. I'm not on the same I don't have the same kind of understanding. So from that's the way I look at it, but I don't look at it from the sense of, oh, we have to tap into this frequency and to this, that, and the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I just wanted to say that because I know I've said it in the past, so I just wanted to clear that up. But thank you for having me on. And yeah, I'm getting back to listening now. So bye, everybody.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Sister Chantel. Brother Steve, shebang bang, man.
Right back at you, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate the broadcast, man. Funny, that you're presenting this teaching today, because I mean, the Lord's really, Most High has really been on my mind about the understanding of that. All this is neo Baal worship. This is the fulfillment of ancient Baal worship. To its pinnacle. Many of the aspects of it that when you actually study it, whether it's child sacrifice, sexual perversion, witchcraft, all of it is all pervasive throughout the scriptures. But now we're at the point now where all of it is really coming to a head to its final unmasking. And that's been the goal of many of these especially for Rome, it's been in covenant with Lucifer for a long time, and their job has been to conceal and partition out Baal worship into other aspects that it can't necessarily be fully seen by the naked eye. And glory be unto the Most High, by Christ through the Holy Spirit, that you can actually see it for what it really is. But these are just puppets for it, right? When he's mentioned about frequencies and all these other things and whatever else, there is an element of truth to it, because all things are held together by the word of his power, right? And that is scriptural truth. That yes, the world we live in is held together by the word of God, but that same God is holy. And he requires holiness, and that holiness is satisfied by the blood of Christ, and understanding that. But at the same time, also understanding that we also have to be holy and separate ourselves from whatever other foolishness is out there. So it's very scary to see just how far our people have fallen, especially as being puppets, and just how few the remnant really is of those who really are diligently searching out the scriptures, because we worship him in spirit and in truth. And to see so many people walking in half truth, and folks just willing to fall for it because they much rather believe a lie rather than truth, it really is a scary thing. So, but again, I appreciate your ministry, and you being able to actually share this information that individuals can actually see the truth for itself and actually go before the Most High and make a decision for themselves. So much appreciated.
All right. Thank you, Brother Steve. Appreciate you coming on. Brother Eric.
Shalom, Brother Yakoba. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. How's it going?
What's up, man? Good to, good to be with you. Always, always. All right, so listen, this is my wheelhouse. This is my wheelhouse. Yeah, whenever you're talking about the supernatural, I got to have a little say, just a little say. So I ain't gonna be long. Now, blessings to the chat, blessings to the panel, respect. So now listen, Satan, when he heard the Most High say, I will put enmity between your seed and her seed, right? He that was his time to say, oh, so if I spoil the seed, I could go on forever. I could keep doing this thing. And that's when he dropped in his seed, the Nephilim, his cohorts, the other gods got together and said, okay, if we want our thing to keep going, we're gonna have to kill the seed or spoil it. Well, that's when, and listen, my disclaimer is I don't have to be right. I could be wrong. Anybody got another view? Fine, I'm willing to listen. But I believe that is when he decided, okay, I need to spoil this seed. I need to get rid of this seed some way, somehow. And that's when he tried to pollute mankind. And that's where the Nephilim come in. This stuff is really not hard to understand. If you just consider, there's a battle going on. There's a war going on between good and evil. And there are casualties in war. And what Billy Carson don't understand, when we were kids, we would play this game. We would jump rope, double dutch. And in double dutch, you got to time the rope. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is what Billy Carson is doing. He's giving you a little, he's giving you a little time in. He's giving you a little information with a little lie. And just like Sister Chantel says, I've used the word frequency too, but not in the way he's using it. That frequency is a connection between us and our Elohim, our God. You understand? That spirit connection, not in this esoteric, oh, we got to be on the same wavelength foolishness. That's not what we're talking about. That's what they're talking about. You understand? They're not factoring in that being that we call our God, Yahuwah, the creator of the universe, the ancient of days. That person has set aside his people from the rest of the people, from the rest of the gods. Yeah, those people, y'all can fool around. Your gods, I've created you. I've created them. Those is your people. You see these people over here? Don't touch them. Leave them alone. This is my portion. And I was cool with them because they had them worship them, doing all this other stuff. Is when we decide, oh, I wonder what's going on over there. When I was coming up, my parents said, I had a bunch of brothers and sisters, so we didn't need to go in nobody else's yard. We didn't need to go in nobody else's house. We played amongst each other. But our parents said, don't fool. Don't go to these people's house. Don't go in these people's yard. Stay on your own side. When you want to go look and find out what other people's doing, you pick up bad habits. You bring back things you ain't supposed to be bringing back. What are you doing with that toy? I didn't buy that toy for you. Where you get that toy from? Oh, from so-and-so. Take it back. You have your own things to play with. The Most High gave us our own things. And we wanted to mess around in other people's yard and see what other people doing. And that's what put us in this situation. And Satan and his cohorts drew us in. Look at this shiny thing over here. Look at this thing over here. Look at this technology over here. We call it magic, but it was always just technology. I can go on, and I'm just cut it short. He's leading his people and them people down the wrong path. They don't understand what they're getting themselves into. And these gods are priming us for their return. And like the scripture says, men's hearts are going to fail them for what's coming on. If you don't believe that this world was something more than what it is now, and they feeding you a little bit more with the movies and television. If you notice, everything is a giant. Everything is an alien. Everything is a UFO. They ain't calling it UFO no more. They calling it UAPs. They priming you. It's a setup. They setting you up for what's about to take place. Everything else is the distraction. So when the man come on the scene, you ain't gonna know which way to look. It's gonna be total chaos. And if you're not rooted in Yahuwah and his son Yeshua, you're gonna have a serious problem on your hand. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for having me. Loving blessings. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, Brother Eric. So the reason why they don't call it UFOs anymore, and they call it UAP, is because they don't want you thinking anymore that aliens come from outside the planet. They're gonna let you know that the aliens have always been here, and that they are the ones you see in the ancient texts. All right. So, Brother Robert, welcome. Unmute yourself.
How you doing, Brother Yacoba?
All right, welcome. You're a first time on the panel, huh, Brother Robert?
Yes, I am. I've been talking to you a lot, but you haven't replied, but that's okay. I know you're busy.
I don't see everybody's stuff, just to let you know.
Yeah.
People think I see it. I don't see it all the time.
Understood. Well, the greatest deception is upon us. I think Trump and Elon Musk is a part of that deal. I didn't vote for neither one, for Kamala or Trump. I stayed out of it, sat out. But I feel that this whole system is, like you said, it's a psyop. It's a setup. And that ear thing with Trump was all fake. Because I've seen him
I agree.
He ain't got nothing wrong with his ear. And let me get this one other point in. You have to believe the word. The word says we're under a firmament, which means that the earth is not round, it's flat. And that there's there's extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial means that there's other lands outside of this land. And I do believe that Antarctica is an ice wall. And there's other lands on the other side of that. But, and that's where these UFO, UAPs are coming from. So it's all going to be exposed here pretty soon. And I appreciate your ministry because you deal in the, what do you call it? Go ahead and finish my sentence. The,
what? Esoteric stuff or what?
Yeah, esoteric and that's the reason why I do not, every time I see this Billy on, I shut him off. I don't even listen to him.
Yeah, me too.
The most I got of him was you exposing him today. I do not listen to him because I know he's coming from that esoteric area. And that's the first time I've seen that woman, which is the daughter of, I don't ever listen
Steve
to him.
Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey. I don't listen to him either. Pretty soon he's going to be exposed along with TD Jakes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to hold you, and I really appreciate you letting me on. And I just, I'm here in Washington State. That's where I'm at. I know you're in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay. So our time difference is a little bit. It's only 11:36 here. But anyway, I appreciate you letting me on.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Brother Robert. Appreciate it. Sister Betty. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
I'm Shalom, Yacoba, so I ain't your sister.
I thought you put me down, Sister Betty.
Well, you ain't even check.
I did. I sent you an email, Sister Betty.
Yes, you did. You showed.
You breaking up, Sister Betty.
Tell you did. breaking up bad.
Go ahead. I hear you. You sound good right now. Sister Betty? Sister Betty? I can't hear you.
Pull over.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm finna pull over right quick.
Okay, all right.
I'm pulling over right quick to this dollar store.
Okay.
Yeah. But Yakoba, it's so
Uh-huh.
much going on. It's so much going on the continent, you know, for what me and Arthur and them doing over there. It's like
Yeah.
it's mind blowing, you know, what we going through in Tanzania right now. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot that we're dealing with because you're trying to do business and build and do things when you're in America, and it's extra hard because it's hard. It's hard when you here and you doing business there, you doing things there, and to try to keep your funds together and keep everything that you're doing together. You know, you got to trust somebody else. So it's difficult. Then running the business here, so it's kind of difficult. But once I say that I care about you, Yakoba, it doesn't leave like that. Hasatan will have you to feel, you know, oh, it's something when it's nothing. You know, when it's nothing except I'm just extremely busy. But I've been listening to you now. I've been listening to you because that was a very good teaching that you did the other day. It was fire. Like, wow. You know, so I know you are ordained by the Most High Yahuwah to do exactly what you're doing. So I believe in the steps that you are making to help our community. I really know for a fact that you, Yakoba, you love your people. You love the people. So I can follow that, and I can get with that. I can get with that. You know what I'm saying? I can say that. But on the study today, Billy Carson is an agent. Thoughts
Yeah.
Camera Action was an agent. Young Pharaoh was an agent. See, our people, these Hebrew Israelites, just like they was in the time of Yahushua HaMashiach, they don't hear and see well. They believe
Yep,
in
that's true.
freaking thing that Tom, Dick, Paul, and Harry come up and say on a platform. If they got more than 25,000 subscribers, oh, he must be true. They don't read, they don't research, they go sample from everybody that is on a platform. See, your mama done told you back then in the day with us, my generation, don't go to everybody's house eating. Don't you eat no food and don't you take no drink. If they offer you some food and drink, you tell them, no, thank you. I have to eat when I go home. I'm good. But see, us Hebrew Israelites, we go eat from everybody's freaking table. Can't you see here? Billy Carson is an agent. He's preaching false doctrine. He ain't preaching, but he call himself teaching. But this man is a false doctrine person. He's doing the same thing that Hasatan did in the garden to Eve, but now he's doing it. We have so many people in our own community, in our own family that are false, and they love it because they love the world. They love the things in the world, and they love the world. So what I'm saying is stop going to everybody dang on house eating their greens and they meat and they drinking their Kool-Aid. You got to go do some research on the people and really try to understand, what are they teaching me? Is this biblical? Of course we know the Bible was recanonized and rewritten, and we know all of that. But if you have a little bit of discernment, if you ask the Most High for discernment when you're reading the scripture, you gonna get exactly what the word is saying. You gonna get it. If you praying for that type of discernment and you serious about this walk with the Most High, you're going to get it. But if you listening to Billy Carson and you listen to people like Thoughts, like Young Pharaoh, you gonna be lost. You're gonna be lost in the sauce. Because them celebrities, like you said, Jacoba, them celebrities already sold out to the Baphomet. Look at Jennifer Hudson, lose 6 or 7 people in her family. Now she got a show host. She got a talk show. She's so happy and vibrant. Listen, look at her. She ain't accepting no more. She ain't accepting no Elohim, no Yahuwah. You got these people that actually, like Kanye said, I sacrificed my mother. Michael Jordan. These people sacrifice their children.
Oh yeah.
Who is you if I sacrifice my own seed? Who are you for me to deceive? You know Elon Musk and Donald Trump, them demons.
Yep.
But you know, just you gotta get, like you said, get away from that music, because that music is put on and satanic messages are in the music. This is not music that you're listening to. You're not listening. You're being like the Pied Piper, who was a half goat and a man, blowing the little flute, drawing all the kids out. You being piped. You're being piped, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. You're following the same entities that our people got cast out of the land in 70 AD, because they was following a demonic system. They was following a demonic system. Like I said, every time you Hebrews go and abort a baby, you are a part of a demonic system to Molech. That's what you're doing. And this 4B movement, they shave their head. You gonna follow them Gentiles shaving your head, not having relationship with your husband. You gonna follow them sick, demonic people. Every movement that they come up with, and you see is satanic. Here you go, black females want to be so a part of the system. Y'all go jump on it. Go mistreat your brothers who are already mistreated, who Obama tried to chastise with his weirdo self. And his husband, wife, I mean. We better stop letting the piper lead us. You better come back to the Father. You better come back to Abba Yahuwah, and trust in the hanging and slaying of Yahushua HaMashiach, who he died for our sins. You better come up out of her, my people, because you're lost. You're lost because you're uneducated. You know the word ignorance, they consider it as a bad word. Ignorance only means that you don't know. You don't understand. You don't know. That's all it means. But again, they do wordplay on you. See, we don't even know our own language, so we don't even know when these demons doing wordplay on us. We be out here cursing ourselves every time we open our mouth, because we don't know that that old English from Europe, that 17th, 13th old English, them was demons. Them kings over there, them is demons, them lizards. Them people got that DNA that they like, oh, we don't know where that DNA is. They know what the DNA, that missing link they got. They know. Let them don't shave and cut their hair. You take the shaving cream from that Caucasian cave woman and take that leg shaving cream from her and give her 1 year with none of them products. She'll be just like the Harry Book Dick feet that walk out there in the woods, because that's who they are. What people you know love to go hike deep down in the woods. deep in the woods, or go hike up some long mountain and go deep down in some caves. That's them folks. Black people we can't even barely camp in our backyard, because I hear coon on possum in my backyard. I be jumping. These people like to go out there and camp with bears and lions and tigers and get ate up.
Oh
and
my!
They don't even care. They'll be back out that next weekend. Oh, we're going camping. Oh, we seen some. Well, we know you seen one of your ancestors out there. Let that white woman don't shave. She gonna be hairy like Nebuchadnezzar. She gonna be looking like a beast with long nails, hair on her leg. Imagine that hair on her arm. And they already, we call them Florida gnats. We call them Florida gnats with that little funky smell like a puppy to me, a wet puppy. And that's what you want to go marry and procreate with. What's wrong with you, Hebrew men? What's wrong with y'all? Y'all don't like no woman smelling like natural hair. Our hair don't stink. You don't want me. You don't want me. You don't want me. You don't want a natural smelling woman. Just
our people messed up, Sister Betty. We messed up as a people. I'm like, it is what it is. You know, it's like
we messed up.
We all got to return to the Most High.
That's the only way. But I don't know who wrote the Willie Lynch letter. I don't know which one of them Caucasians wrote it. But boy. It's the same
Yeah.
thing, the same play script they gave us for why we Democrat. And we still can't wake up and see what has a Democrat done for you? They're for the
Exactly.
y'all. So what is going on? What is going on?
I'm not voting
They
for my
did not.
demise. I ain't voting
I'm
Democrat
not
or
voting.
Republican.
As you, I said last night on Dante, you better go repent if you cast a vow, a commitment. If you signed on that line like Shrek did when the little demon came and tried to trick Shrek, give him 1 day of his old life back. He signed the contract. When you voted, you're signing a contract with whatever system that get in place. And that's not an election anyway. It was a selection. They went and picked they went and picked somebody as nitwitty and giggly and clean her collard greens in the bathtub. They went and picked somebody like that. She sound white with a group, and then she get with a black group. She sound like a sister. What kind of witchcraft is that? So they picked somebody that they know nobody was gonna vote for to make Trump seem like he's the better candidate, and ain't now one of them heathens better. But we can't even see that as a people. We can't even see that. Jacob, I ain't gonna hold up no more of your time. But look, thank you for having me on. And listen, my love that I have for you is still the same, no matter what. No matter what, it's still the same.
I appreciate you coming on, Sister Betty. I just missed you. That's all. That's why I was reaching out to you.
You think I ain't missed you? I seen it live today, even at the preschool. I'm like, oh no, I got time today. I'm jumping in today. If he don't open it up, it's fine. I'm just gonna comment in the chat to let him know that I am here on board. I am here. I am.
All right,
here.
good to have you on, Sister Betty.
Thank you.
You're a breath of fresh air.
Well, I try to.
All right.
I do part just like you, Jacoba.
Yeah.
All praise to the Most High Yahuwah family. Thank you.
All right, love you, Sister Betty. Bye. All right, Brother G. Smitty, welcome. Unmute yourself.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, sound good. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing just fine here in the great state of Florida, if that's what you want to call it. I've been listening to the show on and off a good little while, and basically I'm 62 years old, retired military. Now I'm just going to be a real short confession, maybe one question. Raised up in the state of Arkansas under old Southern Baptist Church, and I have a family with grandkids now. Retired during the COVID years because I got tired of hanging the job vest. But since I've been listening to you, I've from my time I was a young man with a family up to now, I've been in probably every, I want to say, black denomination of churches because of the military being stationed in different areas. But I've always had something deep down inside me that said something just wasn't right. So in my own research and listening now, here I'm gonna say within probably maybe 2019 to where I'm at right now, 2024, I've listened to just a few, but just the ones I listened to what you had recently a lot, but I used to listen to a lot of Geno Jennings, right? Besides me sending to a natural church. So I am still a church member, but it's just something inside of me because I'm like, okay, if I'm not sitting in a church with people, is that wrong? Because that's what God wanted me to do. We need to be gathered. If we've not gathered, that's what my question was. I've been meaning to come on, but I didn't want to sound like, I want to use the right terminology, ignorant to what it's supposed to do as a black person, and I'm kind of like twisted and unsure of my faith. I read my Bible, I do my research as much as I can, and the times as they pass on by, something inside me saying that something has to get right and structure right inside of me. So, but because I'm always seeking as a man, and I try to tell my sons, you need to know what your lineage is and who are you, so you won't be never lost. That's what my message is to my young black men, the sons. But so I'm at an impasse, and I'll just be honest with you. When being in the military, I've taken all kind of vaccine, and when COVID came out, I took the 2 COVID, but I haven't taken the last one. It's something about that I just wasn't sitting and feeling right, so I don't know. But I like what you said. Now it's a difference between me and my house is just we empty nested, me and my wife. my research and studying takes me just a little bit different from hers. And I've looked, like I said, I looked at your videos and also with Genogenesis. And then if it's just out in the community, and I don't feel like I'm babbling going up, and I approach these guys out on the street or either in the flea market. They wear like the purple tie with the tassels on the bottom. Oh my God. My wife probably nearly hit me in the head with a hammer because she was like, "Wow, they all like this, and you just need to stop. You finna go burn in hell," because it was like, get your wife out of the way and women ain't supposed to. So I'm like, I am so twisted, but I'm like, God, because I go out and I look up and I pray. Oh, just to go back to one, I love the part where you said, eat the meat and spit out the bones, right?
Yeah.
Take for what you want. So now, and I looked at the brother that you showed the video on with Harvey's daughter. Me, myself, and what I believe from being a child and the different ministers and the pastors and everybody that I come through, and with my own, I don't know anything about the frequency. To me, it's a spirit, and it's just like pain. I can't see the pain, but I can feel it. I can't see the spirit, but I can feel it. Something about inside. I don't know about no frequencies. All I know is what I feel and what's inside of me. And I pray to God and I ask him for discernment, and hopefully I'm doing the right things. So because to my belief, everybody's not going to get in. Everybody's not going to get in. So
I agree with that.
Everybody's not going to get in. I can sit in that church 24/7 from my grandparents up to them right now, and try to strangle my kids to bring them in there for baptism, because I've been baptized. Matter of fact, I hope the audience not laughing. I've been baptized twice. Because it's just something about that touches me. The older I get now, maybe it's more maturity and more growth and more time to do research, and that's why I'm still in my research period. But I'm hopefully that for me being the head of my household, and I pray to God to give me something that I can pass along to my sons and my granddaughters, because the way that the world is going now, something has to change, and I'm hoping that I'm good. So I wanted to make that. I don't know what your thought is, but I wasn't going to come on, but I said I'm going to catch it. Hopefully you'll click. If you don't, I won't be upset if you don't click. I sent an email, but I didn't get a response. I'm like, well, maybe just not it. So, but that's where I'm at.
All right, brother Smitty. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta send me an email more than once, because I get so many, it might get lost. Right. So and then sometimes I don't get it. Sometimes it just you think it's sent and it's not. So that happens.
No, but I love the videos, and I get so much, and I have my Bibles or my dictionary ones, and I'm like, wait a minute, let me go look this up, because I'm always been told, and plus in my mind, even though if you hear something, you view it, to me, you always got to go back and research, because just for your own sake. I don't try to take everything and run with it that I hear. I always try to have 3 or 4 different sources of research if I can get it, but then everything can't be trusted, because you don't know this day and time who's fooling you.
That's true. You got to be led by the Spirit. But one thing for sure, I take what we call canon as my base.
Okay.
Right. And then after that, I'll use the Apocryphal and stuff like that. And if it lines up with canon, then I'm good. Because the message from Genesis to Revelation is consistent, right? It's consistent.
Okay.
So that's why I don't have a problem with that. But I would say this, when you were talking about the, gathering, the scripture says, "Where 2 or more gather in my name, there am I in the midst." So you don't have to be a part of a church. It could be just you and your wife, right? But if you want to, I don't have a problem with it. Like, I have a problem with the Christian religion. I don't have a problem with the Christian people, right? Because to me, the Christian people, because we all were Christian, most of us, and we're at where we're at. Now, I think most Christians are trying to live out the word with the knowledge that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but when it comes to the rest of the scriptures, they're not clear on what they should be doing and how to live their lives. So that's just my opinion. But as much as I beat up on Christianity, I don't necessarily beat up on Christians, right? So
okay, well, my last now, but like I said, I've been sitting in church and I've heard a lot of different ministry, different lessons, and seemed like to me, I could be wrong, and God forgive me wrong. The message that I get are the easy messages. They never bring out the hard messages need to be explained. That's the way my feeling is. Because when I go back and I read something in the Bible, like you say in Deuteronomy or something like this, or through Kings or whatever that I hear, and I go back and read, sometimes I don't hear those. I'm like, let me dig down in the good hard stuff and go back to the other books, because of Enoch and all them. I read some of those. I see some of those videos. I don't know if because maybe what I'm gonna use the only layman term I know. The church banner that they under, or whoever they leading through, or they viewing them certain things that they're just not able to teach their parishioner, which is me when I'm sitting in there, because maybe their church will be taken from them. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Thank you for coming on, Brother Smitty. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Sister Betty, you back? I see you came back in. You have to unmute yourself. It's still muted.
Jacob, I'm having a
Yeah, there we
hard
go.
time. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound good, Sister Betty.
Oh, okay. I understand what he's saying, Minister Jacob, but you know what? Like I said before, reading about Apocrypha, or which books you're reading, the giants, the books of Adam and Eve, the testament of the 12, the Most High still has to give you discernment to understand what it is. So before we even read anything, we should pray before we open up the book and ask him understanding of the scripture that we're just reading, because you have the Gentiles who out there preaching, but the majority of them, because they don't acknowledge who we are, that we are the people, and they choose to acknowledge the fake people. They are still up under a demonic spirit. If you bless Israel, you'll be blessed, but they're blessing the wrong Israel. They're blessing the wrong Israel. So how are these churches going to be able to accept Yahushua HaMashiach? How? Billions. Study on the different religions, millions, billions, thousands of people who are going to be led astray on false doctrine. And our people are right there sitting up in a church that's based on white supremacy. How you gonna sit up under a man who is based? You sitting in there with the KKK and the skinheads and the swastikas. You sitting in there with all of them, but they got their robe hanging at home in the closet. How are you following that? How can you not see? Like you said, you do beat up on the Christians pretty much, but Christianity isn't even in Scripture. So you got to help me to let me know where that term come from. Christianity. Who coined that term to call us Christians? Christianity. Of it.
The Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church, right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. The Catholic Church openly worship Hasatan in their opening song. They openly worship him, oh Lucifer, light bearer. He still sit back and be up under such delusion. They use Christianity to keep you enslaved. Your Bible they gave you in 1865, the old slave Bible. Do you not understand what this is? So they add more chapters to you. Now you happy. But you don't forgot that they use that very book to use you and turn you into a Christian, and turn you into worshiping a white homosexual lizard hanging on the cross. And you still falling for that dead entity on a cross. Saying praise Jesus. You still got all of your demonic LGBTXYQ gospel singers. Even them gospel singers. Look at Kurt Franklin. This man's so effeminate now, I'm surprised he ain't grow boobs. Bad out there in the gospel. He's just like the celebrity. Man, Kurt got on makeup, lipstick, and everything. He dancing. He danced like that better than Prince. I ain't think Prince could be out there shaking and rocking and spinning and all that, but he got him.
Yeah.
And we still follow behind these gospel singers. They get drunk, they get high, they go to Diddy parties. These people are sick.
They are. They
And
got to
here we
tell
go.
Diddy no.
They got you get there, he rubbed that medicated baby oil on you. You come, they come Diddy with over 1,000 bottles of got some medicine in
Yeah.
it. Once he rub them down with it, they pass out and he do whatever, then he make a tape. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And they got this, they got this real popular Nigerian guy. They call him, it's all over Africa. He's like one of the biggest African, secular music stars it is on the continent. His name Burna Boy. When I tell you, and them Africans are real skeptical about their homosexuality stuff. When I boy, and he went missing. You called me. His mama been looking for him because the tape done came out. They may stone him to death when he get back to Nigeria. And he
Wait, the
did
tape
all
came
this
out
for
about
fame.
Burna Boy?
Yes.
Really?
Google it. I mean, you Google it for real. Unbelievable.
Wow.
When you get off, go look it up. Go look it up. And he went missing, so they say. But they say that was his mama on there crying, saying, let him come back. Send my lady, your only son done crossed over. He done hit the crossroads.
Oh my
He done went to the crossroad with Diddy. He done went to the crossroad with Diddy. Yeah. Once you go to the crossroad with Diddy, yeah. You can't do nothing but repent and say it with me. Dedicated oil down there for him, and the cameras are everywhere. But somebody just said today, rich people, filthy rich people, like the King Andrew, I don't know. See, they ain't gonna be caught up in that Diddy stuff. Because they are the seed of the serpent. King, whatever, they ain't no kings, but them pedophiles over there in England that sit on a throne with their lizard tail up under them long clothes, they're not going to be caught up with them Diddy tapes, even though they were there. You think they going to reveal the tape of King Andrew? You read them Pope, but all the Pope's homos anyways. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And the tapes of the princes of England, they didn't come out either. It's all the black folks.
See that? So it's aimed to tear us down. It's aimed to tear us down. See, Billy Carson, all he doing is making sure that you don't repent, that you don't repent. Thinking you a God.
Yep.
Everybody that thought they was a God, they dead. Nimrod died.
Yep.
You're gonna be dead in hell. Go ahead, cause see, Yahushua HaMashiach, he died, but he came back. See, y'all think you're gonna do that worshiping that demon you call Jesus Christ. That's not what's going to happen. You're gonna be burning in the pits of hell with Billy Carson and that Jezebel that was interviewing. Is it some type of mermaid? Some siren mermaid witch. All she do is draw in good-looking men and men with money and fame. She do her thing on them and leave them. She's a Jezebel. And Billy Carson got a nerve to have a Jezebel interview him. They all sick. And all we do is sit there and watch it. And don't you know your ears and your eyes are sacred places? They're sacred. You can't expose. That's why we shouldn't let our children listen to everything, look at everything, because TV and music is already Hasatan. It always was. It's already infiltrated. Your children can't look at a clean cartoon anymore. There's no such thing. Back then, if you think about it, they had Bugs Bunny cross-dressing in.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
we keep saying that. What they were doing. We know Bugs Bunny was a boy. Why he had on women clothes and lipstick? Because they were already conditioning us as children to be acceptant of it. And we just ran outside and played after we watched Bugs Bunny. It wasn't no big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah. So, Sister Betty, I might have to go because I got someplace to be.
You come. We can go on and on. You better get me off here.
All right. Thank you for coming on, Sister Betty. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Love you, y'all.
All right. Love you too. Bye. All right, fam. So I don't know if the thing about Burna Boy is true or not. You know, that's the expression of our guests, not Tell Ministries. But I'm gonna say this: that there's a lot of stuff going on, and whether or not Elon Musk is the false prophet, he's part of the conspiracy at the minimum. I think there's a high chance that he is the false prophet. Looking at what the false prophet does and how he's the one behind the mark of the beast, he's the one behind the image of the beast, right? Which would tie him in the modern time frame to technology. So I think there's a good chance that he could be. I would say keep your eyes open, keep your head on a swivel, and you know, just make sure that you're paying attention, because there's a lot of infiltrators, and they're going to say they're Israelites. They're going to say they're Christians. They're going to say they're believers, but they're going to draw you away from the Messiah, and they're going to draw you away from the word of the Most High, like Billy Carson is. And so, as Sister Betty said, and Brother Robert said, you know, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that's going to make it into the kingdom. I mean, what I'm seeing happening right now, I mean, I pray for our people, but I'm not convinced a lot of people gonna make it in. I mean, you know, we got to press in and strive to enter the kingdom, and we must avoid a lot of traps and pitfalls. And so I would say for, you know, most of us, we need to make sure we pray for our families, and because this deception is strong. And as I mentioned, the whole UFO thing that they're promoting, they're coming to a crescendo. You can see it. So I think what's going to happen, I think 2025 could be, I'm not saying it is, I'm not a prophet, could be the time of revealing of the fallen. It'll be the destruction of many people and many civilizations and cultures. And they're going to implement new technologies. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do implement portals. I mean, what if they implement a portal, a literal portal that you can like, you know, go to New York and you step in the portal and come out in, let's say, Australia, right? They got fake portals that they have right now with cameras. But what if that's just preparation for the real thing? I don't know. All I do know is that something's wrong. And I think the world is in dire straits. And I'm not convinced everybody going to make it. And definitely there's a lot of Israelites who believe UFOs are going to come save them. They believe in Druidism. They believe in Mormonism. They believe in the sealed portions. They believe in all kind of stuff. And all of that is to lead you away from the Messiah. And I'm not convinced most people are going to make it. I'm serious. That's how bad it is. But family, you know, we must keep each other in prayer. We must make sure we seek the Most High so he can protect us. And you know, if you want to support this ministry, you can. You can give us a like, share, and subscribe. You can become a patron member. You could give through Ko-fi. You could give through PayPal, right? You can give through Cash App. Now, I want to say this before I end. With Cash App, if you've been giving to us with the saved profile for Tell Ministries, you're going to have to search and reattach that, right? Because that cached version of Tell Ministries that's in Cash App, that one is not going to work. So you'd have to search Cash App again for our name, and then the new ID will be associated with that and give you the correct account for your gift to be given to. So this one let y'all know that you're going to have to search for Tell Ministries with the Cash App and then use that one, because if you have the old one, it's going to fail. All right. So, fam, love y'all with the love of the Messiah. Don't forget, support the Dry Bones Project. T3ME been doing a lot of work out there. And, Brother Tim is a part of the AU Ambassador Program. So shout out to Brother Tim. Shout out to Stepping Stones and Journey with Us, who are also doing great work out there. Y'all should go check out their videos. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending.